51. The nays are 49. The confirmation is confirmed.
Kash Patel just winning Senate confirmation with 2 Republicans joining Democrats to vote against him. Alaska's Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins of Maine.
This is only the second nominee who's gotten more than 1 GOP no. You have to go back to Pete Hegseth in late January, who got 3 GOP no's. Collins, Murkowski, and McConnell, and Vance had to break the tie to confirm Hegseth as the defense secretary.
Fox's Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill. More criticism of Ukraine's president from the White House.
National Security Advisor Mike Waltz says President Trump is obviously very frustrated with Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky.
Some of the rhetoric coming out of Kyiv, frankly, and insults to President Trump were unacceptable.
Waltz also criticized Zelensky for turning aside a U.S. proposal for access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals as part of a cost-sharing agreement.
It can only be described as a historic opportunity.
Waltz did not directly answer questions about whether Ukraine is responsible for Russia's invasion nearly 3 years ago or if President Trump considers Russian President Vladimir Putin a dictator.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. New York's governor reportedly set to announce she will not remove New York City Mayor Eric Adams from office, but plans to increase oversight.
Guardrails could include putting a state deputy inspector general in place to focus on city administration, as well as creating a fund for top city officials, such as the city council speaker and the city's public advocate, to hire lawyers to sue the federal government if the mayor will not.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Mayor Adams has denied any deal with the Trump administration on immigration to get a federal corruption case against him dropped. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
That should have been the last of it. 16 degrees and sunny downtown. Your radar is clear. Low temps tonight once again expected to be down at the single digits. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Snow fell in Indiana probably while you were sleeping. It made for some slick conditions on the roads this morning.
Yeah, we really just want people to be careful this morning. There's already been quite a few accidents with the slick roads. So even though the snowfall has stopped, with how cold it is, any of that snow that melted has refrozen, leading to some slick conditions out there.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service says that should have been the last of the snow for a while in Indiana. He expects it to warm up next week. Some counties in Illinois could join Indiana if this bill becomes law. John Herrick reports.
A bill to create a commission that would discuss the possibility of Indiana annexing counties from Illinois passed the House on Thursday and now heads to the Senate. Indiana House Speaker Todd Houston says it's flattering to hear people in Illinois say they want to become a part of Indiana, but this still requires approval from both state legislatures along with Congress. Houston says Indiana's appealing because its economy is growing at a faster rate than all of its neighboring states. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You may remember a fatal hit-and-run crash that killed a woman Tuesday morning near downtown Indianapolis. IMPD says they've made an arrest in the case.
Just last night, IMPD crash investigators arrested 33-year-old Jazz Drain for his alleged involvement in this incident.
Sergeant Amanda Hibschman says video from nearby businesses helped them make the arrest. Police found Drain in Beech Grove. And testimony was given Wednesday night against the Indianapolis Animal Care Services interim director, Kelly Diamond, in front of the Indianapolis City County Council's Community Affairs Committee. This woman says if Diamond becomes the director permanently, that would not be so good.
There are bad policies, cutting free volunteer hours, not running appropriate background checks. Obviously, there is low morale.
The City County Council could vote on Diamond's appointments at its next meeting. That's not until March 3rd. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
The new year means new deals at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. This is where you get your next Ford car, truck, SUV, EV, or fleet vehicle. Elevate your journey right now with the new 2024 Ford Expedition Platinums. Save over $15,000 off MSRP. Equipped with a high-output 3.5-liter EcoBoost, it delivers up to 400 horsepower for commanding performance. And with the premium leather-trimmed interior and wood accents, you're sure to enjoy your time on the road. Need something a little smaller but still enough room? Check out the new 2024 Ford Edge SE. Save over $6,500 off MSRP. You got to check out everything going on at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. Get more to your door. Simply purchase your vehicle online and they'll deliver it directly to you. Visit the showroom, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield, or online at andymoreford.com. That's Andy Moore, M-O-H-R. I love Andy. andymoreford.com.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, west side, southbound 465, crash at West 46th Street, blocking the left lane, causing a slowdown. On the north side, eastbound 465 slows from Allisonville Road over to I-69. Crash northwest side, 71st West Lane at Corporate. And then northbound 465 downtown, northbound 6570, slow between Washington and the North Split. Traffic sponsored by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
We'll see some sunshine today, but another cold afternoon. Highs right around 21, but feels like temperatures into the single digits. We'll see low temperatures tonight fall to 11. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it. Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is out. The gun guy, Guy Relford, filling in big news. Trump's FBI pick, Kash Patel, has been confirmed. I believe there was a couple of Republicans that said, nah. The usual suspects, Collins of Maine, Murkowski of Alaska. Kash Patel's a guy that was a national security prosecutor. He was an advisor in the Trump administration, had a couple different roles, advisor to the director of national intelligence. He was the Secretary of Defense advisor as well. And this is a guy who has been touted as somebody that's going to go into the FBI and burn it down. And that is figuratively speaking, of course.
Yeah.
But he's going to clean it from the inside out. There are plenty. I'm sure we could take up this entire segment and talk about the upper echelon of the FBI, the people that are running the FBI, and find out many things that have gone wrong or have been doing wrong, and the weaponization of the Department of Justice and the FBI as well. What do you think of Kash Patel and Trump's pick for the FBI director?
Man, did you see the movie Argo with Ben Affleck and Alan Arkin? And, the Iranian Islamists have taken over the embassy, and the folks in the basement of the embassy, mainly working for the CIA, they're running around the embassy saying, burn everything. Right, and they're taking computers and throwing them, down and lighting stuff on fire and trash. That's the image I have right now, Nige, of what's going on inside the FBI. I mean, with Kash Patel, and obviously they've known Trump won the election for some time, and I'm sure it's not an immediate crisis. They've been thinking about it for some time, but they have to be panicked over a guy like Kash Patel who said, my job is to shut that building down. Remember that news interview he did standing out in front of the FBI headquarters?
Yeah, and then like Adam Schiff and a whole bunch of other old codgers were out there today in front of a podium saying he wants to shut this building down.
oh, yeah, but imagine, I mean, if you were the guy within the FBI, the person within FBI who ran the investigation into Hillary Clinton where she, destroyed 30,000 emails while under subpoena. You're the person, and you and I were talking off air, and you brought up the fake FISA warrant that allowed wiretaping of the Trump campaign.
Yeah, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. This one's simple. I mean, this goes back a couple of years, but the high-ups of the FBI relied on that phony Steele dossier.
Absolutely.
Okay, going back to 2015, 2016, the Steele dossier paid for and commissioned by Hillary and the DNC to get those FISA warrants, which allowed them to spy on the Trump campaign, specifically Carter Page.
Yeah, you were the person who made the decision to raid Mar-a-Lago with FBI agents with M4s and automatic weapons and ballistic armor, compared to sending an email to President Biden's lawyer saying, we kind of want to come by and look in your garage. I mean, the people that made all those decisions that were so incredibly corrupt and one-sided and so perverted what the FBI is supposed to stand for political purposes, if you're that part of that cabal, I can't wait to see the heat that Kash Patel brings on you. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be fascinating going forward.
The other big news out of Washington is Senator Mitch McConnell. I can't do it as good as Kurt Darling, who is no longer on our news department, who got a new gig. But Senator Mitch McConnell, Kentucky, longest living, I don't know, served in the Senate for 4 decades now.
42 years.
42 years.
Yeah, he did 7 terms, yeah.
It's going to shock you, but he's not running for re-election in 2026. He's retiring. And he was a big no on a couple of Trump cabinet picks as well. Kind of, I mean, you talk about the swamp and the establishment, and just, I mean, again, in his 80s, it was about time for him to retire.
Oh, man, when he just froze up on camera.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. And you just, I mean, I felt empathy for the guy. I'm no fan of his. I mean, he didn't do a great job on the Second Amendment. Obviously, that's, a matter of focus for me. We passed national reciprocity in the House, and we couldn't get Mitch McConnell to bring it up for a vote in the Senate during Trump's first term, during his first 2 years when we had a majority. And anyway, he's not somebody that I am a great fan of. He's a classic example in my mind of someone who just served too long and is not responsive to the voters anymore. And I'm interested to see who Kentucky comes up with in their next election in 2026 to replace him.
Allison, I know Hammer's not here today. He's really good at going back and finding old clips and things that I would never even remember. So I just typed in Mitch in our archives. Can you just play like one of the clips that says Mitch? I don't even know what this is. Play this.
'Cause I'm a picker. I'm a grinner, I'm a lover, and I'm a sinner. I play my music in the sun.
So that's...
I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker.
So is that Mitch McConnell singing Steve Miller Band?
Yeah, doing Steve Miller Band.
I just mentioned Kurt Darling, who has been in our newsroom for 8 years. He just left for another gig. So that must have been What's Mitch McConnell Singing.
Yeah.
Do we have any others? Do we have another one we could play?
And so we're running just as fast as we can, holding on to one another's hand, trying to get away into the night. And then you put your arms around me, and we tumble to the ground, and then you say,
I think we're alone now. Is that Tiffany or Debbie Gibson? I can't remember. Is it what you say?
I think we're alone now.
Is it Tiffany?
Tiffany, yeah.
Tiffany?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
How many do we?
That was Kurt Darling.
Oh, we can keep
that?
going.
This is in honor of Senator Mitch McConnell, who's 105 years old, finally saying he's not going to run for re-election. Do we want to keep going?
Oh, I got more.
All right.
Do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight.
That's ELO, right?
Get down tonight.
Get down tonight.
That's too good.
Please tell me we can't keep going.
A couple more.
Okay. All right.
Love is like a bomb, baby. Come and get it on. Living like a lover with a radar phone. Looking like a tramp, like a video vamp. Demolition woman, can I be your man?
Def Leppard guy?
Oh, man. That one I couldn't come up with.
Pour some sugar on me?
Yeah.
All right.
Sugar on me, poison, maybe.
No, Def Leppard.
Def Leppard. Yeah, there you go.
Def Leppard.
Yeah, okay.
And, all right, one more. Is there one more? And then
one more. We can do one more.
Okay.
Big wheels keep on turning. Carry me home to see my kin. Singing songs about the Southland. I miss old Bammy once again.
Okay, thank you. That was in honor of Mitch McConnell and his retirement, his impending departure.
And I think I got that one. That was Leonard
Senate.
Skinner, right?
You got that right.
All right. Okay.
Very
all right.
good.
That's in my genre right there.
Matt Bear, my man. And you mentioned poison, by the way. We have a Miller Lite Carb Day announcement.
Oh, no kidding.
And we'll get to that here in just a second. Right now, Matt Baer.
What's happening, fellas? Looking at the west side crash. Southbound 465 at West 46th Street. Left lane is blocked and traffic is stopped back to West 56th Street. And a crash at 71st to Corporate Drive on the northwest side. East side crash. Royal Street at Massachusetts Avenue. And on the northeast side, eastbound 465 slows Keystone Avenue over 269. Traffic sponsored by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA Guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Give me my impression of my 13-year-old when I woke him up this morning and said, "Hey, buddy, you got a 2-hour delay because it's so cold." So I'm knocking on his door. Buddy, 2-hour delay. Quick pause. Yes! 7 o'clock in the morning. It was freezing.
It was cold. I went out and shoveled. We didn't get a lot of snow, but we got enough. I thought I should go shovel it, having a car that does not do well. And it was cold. I came in, I couldn't feel my fingers. It was cold.
21 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. We have a Miller Lite Carb Day artist announcement. We'll tell you about that next.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like Family Heating and Air Conditioning? We'll find that American Standard Air Dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
When you're running a small business, every dollar counts. And there's lots of ways you could try saving money, like, say, subletting half your office to an exotic pet shop, or downsizing your fleet of catering trucks to a fleet of catering scooters. Or you could try a smarter way to save. Switch to Comcast Business Mobile. It could save you up to 70% on business wireless compared to AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, and save you the hassle of having a parrot as your desk mate. So don't compromise your business to save money. Keep it growing with Comcast Business Mobile, an incredible value and smarter way to save. Comcast Business Mobile, powering smarter savings, powering possibilities.
Restrictions apply. Compares weighted average of providers based on optimized pricing. Comcast Business Internet required. Reduced speeds after data usage included with plan. Savings may vary.
If you're drowning in unresolved tax debt, know this. The IRS can place a lien on your home, garnish your paycheck, and levy your bank account. That's catastrophe for you.
We interrupt this message to bring you some good news about your tax debt. We're TaxRise, experienced tax professionals who can help you seek relief programs and work directly with the IRS on your behalf. Find out if you qualify with a free consultation. 888-788-4220. Eric from South Carolina owed over $74,000. We helped reduce it to $798. Troy, a disabled veteran, owed over $142,000 and settled at $500. We've helped thousands of clients with their tax problems, and we're ready to help you. So take the drama out of your tax debt and rise above your situation with TaxRise. For your free consultation, call 888-788-4220. 888-788-4220.
Results vary, not guaranteed. Client names changed. TaxRise is not IRS affiliated or a law firm.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant and home office, 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Now through Monday, it's the President's Day sale. Save 50% off on all Lazy Boy, plus free sales tax, free delivery, and interest-free financing. Save up to $800 on Stearns & Foster and Tempur-Pedic mattresses with up to 4 years interest-free financing. Low price guarantee, free delivery, interest-free financing, now through Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. For over 3 decades, Cordell & Cordell has been on the front lines of family law. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204.
Speed. Power. Legendary. This is May in Indy. Start your engine. It's passion and drama. History and tradition. On their feet. Victory and defeat. He will not catch it. Joseph Newgarden goes back to back. This is the Indy 500.
Get tickets for the 109th Indy 500 presented by Gainbridge at IMS.com.
This is May.
IT professionals, don't choose the wrong recycler. Choose Technology Recyclers for complete guaranteed data destruction. Why put your data at risk? You work too hard to experience a data loss by selecting the wrong recycler. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Guy Relford, the gun guy, filling in for Jason Hammer. The announcement has been made. Carb Day, Friday, May 23rd, out at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Miller Lite, Carb Day. Bret Michaels of Poison and the All-American Rejects. Tickets on sale now at IMS.com, or you can give them a call, 317-492-6700. Bret Michaels of Poison, no stranger to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, one of the biggest crowds in the history of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and that event. Bret Michaels, lead singer of Poison, one of the most down-to-earth guys we've ever met, very active in veterans charities guy. And I've met and interviewed him many times. He's been on the show many times, and I'm sure that is going to be a huge, huge day ushering in race weekend out of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I think that's a great name for the Indy 500 to bring in. And you know what? Of all those like 80s hair band kind of front men, I think Bret Michaels has aged about as well as any of them. You know what? I mean, he's still good on stage, at least last time I saw. I'm no rock and roll DJ from the past like you, Nige, but don't you think he still puts on a good show?
I don't know. I think it's a lot of clean living because he's diabetic. And so I don't know how much he's able to imbibe or what that involves, party-wise, because he is he has that affliction, diabetes. Okay. But I mean, the hits of Poison and Bret Michaels, just every rose has its thorn, nothing but a good time. Now the other band that I mentioned was All American Rejects, which is a band from the early 2000s. I played the hell out of these guys when this signal was Radio Now 93.1. Do you have the Do you have the chorus of?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was back from 2005. And then Move Along. It Ends Tonight. And there you go. Miller Lite Carb Day. Bret Michaels and the All-American Rejects. Friday, May 23rd. Tickets at IMS.com. If you're looking for a reason to drink tonight, crack one open for Cindy Crawford. 59 years old today, guy. 59.
I'm a little shocked that Cindy Crawford is 59. However, that's still younger than me. So, you know what? That doesn't do anything to diminish how I view Cindy Crawford. One of the true beauties of all time.
One of the true just giants in the supermodel industry.
Yes, absolutely. Almost started it. You could make an argument.
Oh, that's actually that's a really good point. The term supermodel. Yeah. Where exactly did it come from? When did it start? I bet probably around the Cindy Crawford era. She is 59 years old. They're calling it the Stanley Cup of All-Star Games, Guy.
Yeah.
You and I were texting about this. Tonight is they're calling it the Four Nations Face-Off Tournament.
Yeah.
It's concluding with it's a championship showdown. I guess it's basically in place the NHL All-Star Game.
Mm-hmm. But country against country.
But yes, exactly. So it was a round-robin thing. There was more than one country. It was more than USA and Canada, but they started off the round-robin.
Sweden and Finland.
Sweden and Finland, they're going, who cares about them? It started off, the only reason we're even talking about this right now is because it's USA and Canada, And let's go back to the chaotic first 9 seconds for their first round-robin meeting a few days ago. It looked more kind of like a UFC fight than an NHL fight. I mean, they started throwing down. And again, it's because the Canadians booing the national anthem. Yeah. They have this habit now in the NBA and the NHL, whenever the national anthem plays, because they have to play it in Toronto or, wherever they play, in Canada, whenever they play, they have to play that too. They boo them. Here's what it sounded like from that first round-robin meeting.
And the gloves are off. Hagel from Tampa Bay, Kachuk from Florida, did not see this coming. Both sides said they hoped it wouldn't happen tonight. It did. It's helped set the tone. Charlie McAvoy put one on net. Now we're 9 seconds in. We had a fight 2 seconds in, another one 1 second later. Now in the center of the action, it's Colton Parayko and JT Miller. This is like 1996 when this building opened up with the World Cup.
So I don't think it's exactly like the Americans and the Russians, but it's pretty damn close. The face-off tournament tonight, USA and Canada in Boston. And according to, by the way, just a side note, the reason, I don't know if you're aware of this guy, Relford, according to ESPN commentators, hockey players get away with fighting because they're mostly white.
It's just interesting to me that certain sports you're allowed to fight and other sports could never happen.
And by the way,
optics!
In international competition over the last 50 years, they've had a total of 5 fights. USA and Canada, they had 3 in 9 seconds on Saturday night. That drove me crazy. Number 2.
Just a little hypocrisy.
I don't know why everything has to be about race. What I think it is, I think it's much less about that, and it's just part of the culture of hockey. It's just been part of the game of hockey for, since we've had hockey. There have been teams, and I'm not a huge hockey fan. In fact, I'd be lying if I said I completely understand all the rules of hockey. But since hockey's been hockey, you've had enforcers on certain teams. Their job, right, was to stand up for their teammates and throw the gloves off if necessary. It's just part of the culture of hockey. The fact that coincidentally, most of the professional hockey players and hockey players at all levels tend to be Caucasian, I think is incidental. I don't think that's the reason it's tolerated.
My neighbor lives down a couple houses from me, Scott. Huge hockey fan.
Okay.
It plays it. He's in leagues and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Beer leagues for hockey leagues. Show some damn respect, Nigel. Hockey's the best sport ever. Tonight's going to be epic, although I don't give as much of a chance of us winning tonight for several reasons. By the way, USA indicated they have been Matthew Tkachuk, hockey player, indicated they've been planning it all week, and it wasn't because of the booing of the national anthem. It was just to let them know how things were going to be.
Oh, okay.
There's maybe dual meanings there for the booing. It wasn't the booing of the national anthem. I think it was just one team laying down the law and letting them know you ain't going to run all over us. And the U.S. won that first round robin game 3-1.
3-1, exactly. In fact, one of my favorite memes I've posted recently was this large American eagle with a Canada goose just pinned to the ground with a great big old eagle claw on the back of this goose's head, and it just said 3-1 as the caption on this meme. Was one of my favorites. But I just actually looked at, this would be a time to where Hammer could weigh in.
Yeah.
But I just looked, and I'm not, I don't do the online betting and whatnot. I just tried to check real quick during this discussion if there's a side bet that you could actually enter, whether it in Vegas or on one of the online betting sites, over how long it takes for the gloves to come off tonight.
Oh,
timed from the from the time they drop the puck, right? That's how it starts.
Yeah.
I want to know if there are any side bets out there. Over and under 9 seconds. They had 3 fights in 9 seconds last time. I want to know if there's an over and under on the first fight in tonight's game. I bet somebody out there, can send us that information on the YouTube chat.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. AAA, not only family is the best at helping you out with flat tires, roadside assistance, replacing my dead batteries at work, but they can also plan some amazing vacations. And with all this snow and ice, I'm ready for a trip to Universal Studios with the family in Florida. You know what I mean? No matter where you're headed, AAA can help you get the best price on your next vacation at the AAA Travel Expo, Saturday, February 22nd at the Ritz-Charles in Carmel.
It's free. You don't even have to be a AAA member to attend. Although members love additional benefits like 24/7, 365 roadside assistance. So save the date right now for the AAA Travel Expo 2025, Saturday, February 22nd at the Ritz-Charles in Carmel. Find your dream vacation at Indiana's favorite travel show. Bring a friend and enjoy the day. Get more information and pre-register for your chance to win a $500 AAA travel voucher at AAA.com/expo.
Hey guys, it's Rob, and as many of you know, I very rarely ever leave my house. And as such, I spend a lot of time in my yard. I love my yard. It's kind of like a little escape. But the other day, I really looked at it. And man, it's just not looking the way I want it to look. And with spring on the horizon, the bigger problem is I don't have a clue how to fix it. Quite frankly, with the work it needs, I probably just don't have the time. So I called Save-A-Tree, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. And coming up here in the next couple of weeks, Save-A-Tree is coming to my house, and they are going to revamp my entire yard. They're going to bring it back to life. They're going to help me make my lawn look the way I want it just in time for spring. Save-A-Tree is going to make my yard look great after some tough weather. See how beautiful your yard can be. Set up your own evaluation at saveatree.com, SAVATREE.com, or dial pound 250 on your smart device and say the keyword Save-A-Tree. That's pound 250, keyword Save-A-Tree.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
'93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Should be done with all that snow for now. 18 degrees and sunny in downtown Indianapolis. Your radar's clear. If any trouble, tonight's low drops to about 8. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:32. Every part of Indiana got snow at some point from Wednesday nights into early this morning.
We had some reports of the snow amounts as high as 3.5 inches. Here at the airport, we had just under 2 inches with that event.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service says it should warm up next week, temps possibly reaching in the 50s, and they may stay there until we get to March. Donald Trump has now been back in office for a month.
In just 4 weeks, President Trump has already hosted the leaders of Israel, Japan, Jordan, and India. And next Monday, the president will host France's President Emmanuel Macron. And on Thursday, the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer will visit the White House as well.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt also added that Secretary of State Marco Rubio has already made trips to Central America, Europe, and the Middle East over the last 4 weeks. Mitch McConnell not going to seek re-election in 2026. Here's Fox's Ryan Schmelz.
The longest-serving Senate party leader in history says it's been an honor to serve the Commonwealth of Kentucky, a job he was first elected to in 1984.
7 times. My fellow Kentuckians have sent me to the Senate every day. In between, I've been humbled by the trust they placed in me.
McConnell telling senators he has unfinished business. The Kentucky senator has faced criticism from fellow Republicans loyal to President Trump for voting no on several of his cabinet nominees. But many GOP members have credited McConnell for the confirmation of 3 conservative justices to the Supreme Court and helping to pass the Trump tax cuts bill in 2017. Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Testimony was given last night against the Indianapolis Animal Care Services interim director, Kelly Diamond. That testimony was given in front of the Indianapolis City County Council's Community Affairs Committee. One woman said that if Diamond becomes the director on a permanent basis, it would not be good for morale.
There are bad policies, cutting free volunteer hours, not running appropriate background checks,
Obviously, there is low morale.
And the City County Council could vote on Diamond's appointment at its next meeting. That's on March 3rd. Traffic and weather in about 60 seconds. It's 3:34.
Everyone's talking about Galaxy Concrete Coatings and their transformation, like business owner Brian.
Yeah, Galaxy was great. We have a business where a lot of the service techs are working out in the field, and they'll come in and they'll have even some mud or something on our shoes. So if we're having a meeting, I needed a flooring that could stand up to that, but still look good as an office setting.
Well, if you own a home or a business, Galaxy Concrete Coatings got you covered.
Galaxy was great to work around our schedule. They were able to come in on a Saturday, and the job was completed over the weekend, and we were back in business, so we didn't miss a step.
Lots of styles to choose from, 4 times stronger than epoxy, and it comes with a lifetime warranty.
It's very nice looking. It's very durable. Really makes the room stand out and shine.
Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com now. That's Galaxy Concrete Coatings. And remember to like us on Facebook. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. We're out of this world.
Galaxy was quick to respond. They were quick to give us a solution and quick to get it completed as well. And they're going to take care of you.
With traffic at 3:35, how are the roads looking, Matt Bear?
All right, Harrison, on the west side, a lot better. Southbound 465. Crash cleanup continues, but all lanes are open. The right shoulder has cleared. The left shoulder still covered and slow to West 56th Street, but we are moving again, and that's what's important, I think. Looking at the northeast side, eastbound 465 slow roll, Keystone Avenue 2 I-69 and downtown. Eastbound 70 drags into the south split from west. Traffic sponsored by B Window. This month at bwindow.com, reserve $400 off per window and $250 per patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing. B Window, proud to be employee owned. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
We'll see some sunshine today, but another cold afternoon. Highs right around 21, but feels like temperatures into the single digits. We'll see low temperatures tonight fall to 11. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Guy Relford in for Jason Hammer. Trump's pick for FBI director, Kash Patel. He is in. A couple of Republicans, the usual suspects, voted no. But Kash Patel is a controversial figure, not without experience, though. National security prosecutor, advisor to the director of national intelligence and the Secretary of Defense during the Trump administration, has promised to cause a ruckus within the FBI and straighten a few things out. I mean, you remember back when the Russian collusion stuff was going on, Guy, like the upper echelon of the FBI. You remember names like Comey and McCabe and the great lovers, Peter Strzok and Page, and these text messages that were going back and forth. They launched this bogus Russian collusion probe, and you have the upper echelon of the FBI sending messages like, "We must stop this president."
Oh, yeah.
We need an insurance policy against the president. What do you call it when a bunch of people that are in law enforcement but weren't elected saying we need to stop a president?
Absolutely.
What do you call that?
You call it collusion.
A coup?
Yeah,
soft coup? Yeah,
exactly. But remember the arrogance? Like when McCabe came in and testified before the committee in Congress.
Smirk.
Do you remember the smirky arrogance from that guy? I wanted to wring his neck. And the idea that somebody like Kash Patel now is running that agency, I'm sorry, that's exciting. That may be one of the biggest changes we see here in the immediate future. Not only what Doge is doing, but what Kash Patel does within the FBI.
You remember, and I'm it's all coming back to me. This pal of Peter Strzok, again, FBI douchebag. So it got leaked that this FBI lawyer, who's a pal of Peter Strzok, was being looked at for doctoring those FISA warrant applications to spy on the Trump campaign. We talked about the FISA warrant earlier, Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. That's how they were able to spy on Donald Trump. So it gets leaked that they were doctoring these FISA warrants. Why would he doctor it? Why would you need to doctor a FISA warrant? It's because they didn't have crap
No,
on Donald Trump.
You need to lie about what the facts were so the judge finds enough probable cause to issue the warrant.
Yeah.
So it's about lying to the judge. And by the way, as a lawyer, that should 100% of the time, no exceptions, get you disbarred. You lie on an application for a warrant. As an attorney, you should no longer be an attorney. Do not pass go, do not collect $100. You're fired, you're disbarred, you're out. And that didn't happen. And that's just one of the many, many egregious things that have happened within FBI.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. It was one of the many things there in the upper echelons of the FBI that was going on. I'm very interested in Kash Patel looking at this country facing one of the worst flu seasons in over a decade. Hammer and I briefly mentioned this a couple of days ago. I've got a couple past couple of weeks. The kiddos in the house haven't been doing too well. I don't know that it's been all-out flu. I did get the flu vaccine last, October maybe.
Did you?
I don't know if it's left my body or not. I got sick in December, but I don't know what it was. It was only for a couple of days. But man, I mean, by the thousands, people in this country are going to the hospital because of flu. We have people that are passing away and dying because of the flu. And my question is, why aren't we shutting the country down?
I think it's because we saw the amazing amount of pure disinformation. I mean, intentionally disseminated disinformation, things that public health officials and politicians knew was not true. And absolutely facts that they foisted on us that were never facts to begin with. They were lies, and it was all to I don't know whether it was all an underlying scheme to create more mail-in ballots in the upcoming election. I don't know. I don't know what the motivation was. But we now as a country are so cynical about anything that we're hearing from anyone in any official capacity about what we need to do about the flu or vaccinations or preventive measures generally. I think that we're also cynical about those things. Most people are going to ignore it.
And then you have Dr. Deborah Birx, who was running the coronavirus task force under Donald Trump. I mean, she was the boss. It was Fauci that was kind of the face of the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
But Birx basically going on TV and saying the COVID shots were pushed on the wrong people. Quote, the messenger for the vaccine should have been rolled out for the people that were at risk for severe disease, but that's what the vaccine was developed for. Okay? She also confessed the COVID shot was never designed to prevent infection. Quote, that's not what the vaccine was designed to do. It wasn't designed against infection. Guy, people lost their jobs under the guise that if you didn't get the vaccine, you were not only going to get infected, but you were going to infect somebody else. And now you have people that not only made money pushing that narrative, that lie in 2021, now they're out here making money again, talking about how they lied about it.
Exactly. I mean, during COVID, Nigel, I was sitting in for Hammer, and you and I were discussing, the whole issue of the vaccine and how it was being forced on the entire population. And you had a tremendous statistic that you came up with in that show. And this is a good 4 or 5 years ago. And you said there's been something like 19 new billionaires created through the pharmaceutical industry since COVID broke. And you laid out, I don't remember if that's the number or not, so people forgive me if that's wrong, but that's the number that comes to mind. When you said that, I went, you know what, that may be just what we're all talking about here, is that how many people not only made money, but made an extraordinary amount of money based on the whole vaccination. In retrospect, it was a coup and it was a sham.
And it was I mean, the amount of people getting booster shots have just plunged if you look at the stats. And I got another stat here for you. The Trump administration talking about the costs of destroying and disposing tens of millions of coronavirus tests that could be provided free to America is how the headline positions it. Well, it's not free, first of all.
Somebody paid for it. Yeah, your tax dollars.
You and I are paying for it. But Trump is thinking about, they've got these tens of millions of coronavirus. I mean, when's the last time you've taken a test? Maybe, look, I guess it just depends on who you are, who you surround yourself with. If you've got elderly parents, the last time I took a test was 2 years ago because I knew I was going to be around some very elderly people, and I was very sick. And Lindsay's like, you're taking it. It was the only test I'd ever taken in 2022, and it was positive. So I stayed away. I stayed away from the olds, right? I just kind of stayed home, and I actually didn't mind it during the holidays.
Yeah, the tests, I think I have no problem with the tests being available because that's just providing people the means to know whether they're positive or not and then make their own decisions. For instance, I have a profoundly disabled stepdaughter. And she's quadriplegic. She has issues anyway with breathing, and so coronavirus would be very catastrophic potentially for her. So I have to be very careful. I have a 93-year-old mom who's living at an assisted living facility. I don't want to go in there and infect all those old people that when I go see my mom. So to take tests. To give you the information you need to make decisions to protect your loved ones or others around you, I have no problem with that.
But nobody's taking them. But nobody is taking them.
Because we're also so cynical about what we went through last time, and I completely understand that dynamic.
Nobody. Let me see here. Let's see. Internal documents from the Department of Health reveal that that officials are weighing the options of either disposing of or continuing to ship over 160 million tests valued over $500 million. That's somebody else that got pretty damn rich. The big pharma execs and some of those guys that came up with those PCR tests that became remember how hard it was to get a godforsaken COVID tests, and now you just go to CVS and spend $25 and stick it up your nose, and you find out. Like right now, for me personally, I know it's a different situation with you. I wouldn't, if I had a fever, I would just stay home until the fever went away. And I think that's the protocol anyway with COVID at this point. When days gone by, you would have had to stay home for 7 days.
Anymore, it's a few days of separation, isolation until you're not symptomatic anymore, and then you go on about your life. That's why we've all become so cynical about the paranoia and the hysteria that we see out there in the media and from public officials.
We'll be right back. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. Mark Dietel is the only local Indianapolis real estate expert I trust with the sale of my home, and I would trust Mark and his team to find me a new home as well. Look what happened with Crystal in Franklin. She was moving to Kentucky and needed to move fast. When she got the Mark Dietel marketing plan, she was blown away. The plan worked. Crystal got full list price in the first weekend. Just like that, Mark and his team got it done.
Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That is what separates Mark Dietel from the competition. You pick the move date, no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Call Mark Dietel today. At least start a conversation. 317-755-4232 or go to markdietel.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com.
The new year means new deals at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. This is where you get your next Ford car, truck, SUV, EV, or fleet vehicle. Elevate your journey right now with the new 2024 Ford Expedition Platinums. Save over $15,000 off MSRP. Equipped with a high-output 3.5-liter EcoBoost, it delivers up to 400 horsepower for commanding performance. And with the premium leather-trimmed interior and wood accents, you're sure to enjoy your time on the road. Need something a little smaller but still enough room? Check out the new 2024 Ford Edge SE. Save over $6,500 off MSRP. You gotta check out everything going on at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. Get more to your door. Simply purchase your vehicle online and they'll deliver it directly to you. Visit the showroom, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield, or online at andymoreford.com. That's Andy Moore, M-O-H-R. I love Andy. andymoreford.com.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Welcome, John, our new admin lead.
Thanks.
You've got your laptop, all your admin apps. Oh, and you'll be in charge of ordering food for the team. So here's your drawer full of menus.
Whoa.
You'll keep your receipts in this file folder. Whoops! Receipt confetti.
Oh, dear.
Oh, and all these sticky notes have everyone's dietary preferences.
Have you tried Easy Cater? Online ordering from great restaurants, tools to save time and stay on budget, digital receipts in one place.
We're gonna need a bigger recycling bin.
Easy Cater, the smarter, simpler way to order food for your workplace. Order now at easycater.com.
Discussing end-of-life matters can be uncomfortable, but it's also necessary to ensure that loved ones' wishes are well known ahead of time. This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. Up next, I'll share suggestions to help ease anxiety surrounding the talk.
Cardon and Associates offers the finest senior living options tailored to your loved one's needs. Reservations are now being accepted for new apartments at Copper Trace in Westfield. Visit cardon.com.
Direct, open, and honest conversation is the best way to discuss end-of-life wishes. Knowing your loved one's preferred treatments and desired arrangements will ready everyone for when the time comes. Also helpful, creating a will or trust to ensure assets are distributed accordingly. And consider an end-of-life doula to assist your family during the process. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access a library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
This weekend, everything is 20% off, including gas grills, wood pellet grills, and the Big Green Egg, and accessories at Sullivan Hardware and Garden and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
My man, Matt Bear, what's going on?
What's happening, Nigel? Hearing about a crash now. Just came out 38th at Meridian Street. Tough intersection to wreck. Please be careful in that area. East side crash. 42nd Street at Franklin Road. Inbound 65 stop and go traffic from MLK to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 slows from Harding into the South Split. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
22 feels like 14 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center on 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I'm Nigel. Guy Relford filling in for Hammer. Do you used to watch the Osbournes? Was that on MTV or E Network, Allison? I think it was on the E Network. It may have been on MTV. I forget, whatever the reality show was that followed Ozzy and his family around.
Yeah.
It was a huge reality show.
It was. And, you know, I tried to watch it. I thought Sharon was entertaining. I thought the kids were hilarious.
Yes.
I mean, the kids, they were kind of spoiled brats, but entertaining in their own right. The biggest struggle I had with that series, Nigel, I couldn't understand anything Ozzy said.
I couldn't understand a word he said.
It just sounds like everything's slurred and I don't know, maybe with the English accent, and I don't hear all that well, but I could never understand what the hell the guy was saying.
Well, Sharon Osbourne, not only being his wife, but she was his manager for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And says her biggest mistake as Ozzy's manager, listen to this. Here she is telling Billy Corgan. Billy Corgan is the lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins. He's got a podcast. Here is Sharon Osbourne's biggest mistake as Ozzy's manager.
Do you want to know the biggest mistake I ever made with Ozzy? He got offered to go and read for Pirates of the Caribbean. And I've never said this to anyone. I said no. Now, wouldn't he have been perfect?
He would have been perfect.
I know.
Now, I didn't hear that whole clip. I'm assuming she means Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp's part, right?
Oh, surely not. She must have been talking about some supporting character. I mean, how could Ozzy have been?
Yeah, even at that age.
Johnny Depp knocked that out of the park too. I mean, that's a signature role.
I could understand Johnny Depp's character about as well as I could understand Ozzy Osbourne in real life.
Yeah,
Quite frankly,
you know who who Johnny Depp based that character on? The mannerisms, the speech.
Keith Richards from
Keith
Rolling
Richards.
Stones.
Yeah, absolutely. And the kind of stumbling gait and the accent, the slurred speech, the whole deal based on Keith Richards. I thought that was fascinating.
Meanwhile, they've got the Oscar predictions out for 2025. This is who could win this year's ceremony based on like Rotten Tomatoes, which is a website. Have you ever heard of? There's 10 films that are nominated for the biggest award, right? It's best picture. And based on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm Still Here will win, scoring 96%. Other movies with a chance include Conclave. I would like to see Conclave. That's free on Amazon right now. Or Dune Part 2, which I don't know if you've seen the latest of the Dunes. Really, really, really good with Timothée Chalamet. Really good. I just don't know. I'm not sure if a lot of these others, but they're saying I'm Still Here.
No, never heard of
it. Have you heard of, Ariana Grande, actress in supporting role Wicked, 92%. All right, fine. I'm going to type it in. If I'm going to do Allison's job.
Allison is uniquely talented.
I'm Still Here.
Yeah.
So I'd never heard of it before, but it does have what's his Fernando Torres.
Oh yeah, Fernando Torres. Sure.
So
don't know who that is.
I don't know.
I was going to say what?
I personally have not heard it about it either.
A mother is forced to reinvent herself when her family's life is shattered by an act of arbitrary violence during the tightening grip of a military dictatorship in 1971.
It's probably a really artsy movie. That's why it's going to win all the awards.
Oh, hold on. I've seen this. It's streaming. Yeah, I was thinking this was something in theaters.
It was.
You did see it?
No, my wife and I watched this. If it's the one I'm thinking about, it's a
really?
Yes, a lady is kind of tangentially involved with the cartels. She suffers a huge loss. I think loses her husband, and then she becomes this total complete badass and basically starts her own wing of a cartel and just dominates in that area. And it's a feel good. A lot of good.
Okay.
I started to say good violence. A lot of.
There is such a thing.
There's an acceptable level of entertaining violence in it, and if it's one I'm thinking of, I actually enjoyed it a lot. My wife and I both did.
All right, we'll be right back. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Not sure if your current financial planner is dialed into the volatile markets and the shifting economic policy? Call Trajan Wealth. Second opinions are easy when you use Trajan Wealth. The first consultation is free. Matt Bear here. Hey, Trajan Wealth's core philosophies include low expenses, retaining their financial pros, and tax efficiency. These are just a few of the key qualities that put Trajan Wealth above their competitors. Call 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com to schedule a consultation. Again, the first one is on them. Maybe you have a 401k from a previous employer just sitting around and not making you money. We need it to make money. Trajan Wealth can fix that with a financial portfolio tailored just for you. Call the fiduciary advisors at Trajan Wealth, 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Don Fisher here for QC Kinetics. I want to share with you the best thing I've done for my knee pain. I've been hearing commercials about the groundbreaking treatments that QC Kinetics offers for months. Meantime, my chronic knee pain had hit an all-time high threshold. I wanted to stay active and enjoy playing golf again without the pain. So I decided to call and book an appointment. And what I found out was that QC Kinetics is the non-surgical solution. I have no knee pain and feel like I did 10 years ago. And it's all because of the non-invasive therapy from QC Kinetics.
Discover the solution to joint pain with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. For a free consultation, call 463-282-6886.
I'm back to playing golf and enjoying life. Take it from me, this is the best call you can make to relieve your orthopedic pain.
For your free consultation, call QC Kinetics today. 463-282-6886. 463-282-6886.
Blood, sweat, tears. At Bill Estes, we know it takes hard work and years of doing the right thing to build a business people can depend on. That's why we don't make empty promises and expect your trust. Estes earns it. From Ford F-150s and Toyota Tacomas to Ram 1500s and Chevy Silverados, we have the trucks you'll love at prices you can believe in. But don't just take our word for it. Your trust means something. Estes earns it. BillEstes.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Stay warm and cozy all winter long with a Howald Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing tune-up. Seasonal wear and tear can take its toll on your furnace. Schedule now. Howald Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing, where coming home never felt so good.
Your local news coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
It's over. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. And it ends with Kash Patel as the next FBI director.
2 Republicans voted against Patel's nomination. Alaska's Lisa Murkowski and Maine's Susan Collins. Collins argues Patel has made a number of politically charged statements she finds concerning and questions if he can remain apolitical in the role.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz on Capitol Hill. Supporters say Patel is the right person to bring reform and transparency to the FBI. He said previous roles in the Defense and Justice Departments and with the National Security Council. Mass firings of federal workers can continue for now. A federal judge just rejecting an effort by labor unions to stop the downsizing. But the ruling in D.C. federal court is temporary while that legal fight continues. 5 unions are seeking to block 8 agencies from implementing mass layoffs. Just getting reports of several small explosions on buses in Israel.
Now, these were empty buses. They were sitting in a parking lot. There were no injuries, no casualties, but apparently they were aimed for some busy buses tomorrow.
Fox's Greg Palcott in Tel Aviv. Police say bomb disposal units were searching for more devices. The prime minister's set to hold a security assessment. This just hours after Hamas returned the bodies of 4 dead hostages, including a mother and 2 young children. The militants displaying 4 coffins on a stage in Gaza before handing them over to the Red Cross.
These people have no bounds of decency, none whatsoever.
U.S. Ambassador to Israel nominee Mike Huckabee says Hamas keeps demonstrating
why they cannot remain in any part of control, not just of Gaza, but anywhere.
6 live hostages are scheduled to be released this Saturday. A sell-off on Wall Street, the Dow down 450 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
And the Hoosier States could be getting some more Hoosiers. 18 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis. Nothing to worry about on your radar. Another cold night ahead. 8 degrees is your low. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Some counties in Illinois could wind up joining Indiana if this bill becomes law. John Herrick explains.
A bill to create a commission that would discuss the possibility of Indiana annexing counties from Illinois passed the House on Thursday and now heads to the Senate. Indiana House Speaker Todd Houston says it's flattering to hear people in Illinois say they want to become a part of Indiana, but this still requires approval from both state legislatures along with Congress. Houston says Indiana's appealing because its economy is growing at a faster rate than all of its neighboring states. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Some folks expressed some concern last night about Indianapolis Animal Care Services Interim Director Kelly Diamond becoming the permanent director to the Indianapolis City County Council's Community Affairs Committee. This woman had told the committee that Diamond shouldn't get the job on a full-time basis.
I understand that Kelly Diamond's job is not easy, and there is no quick or easy way to fix all of the problems at the shelter. But it gives me pause that the decision to fire the volunteer coordinator did not seem well thought out.
She says both the policies and morale have been bad under Diamond's interim leadership. The final vote to decide on his future happens March 3rd. Well, it could happen. Police arrested a man for hitting and killing a woman with his truck and then leaving the scene. IMPD Sergeant Amanda Hibschman says that witnesses stepped up to share what they saw.
And then the video footage that also assisted. And so we're appreciative of the businesses that came forward with the video footage of not only the incident, but then also where we found the truck.
The man arrested is Jazz Drain. Police found the truck he was driving near West Michigan Street and Illinois Street and towed it away. Drain was arrested in Beech Grove yesterday. And snow fell while most of you were sleeping, making the roads a bit slick this morning.
We really just want people to be careful this morning. There's already been quite a few accidents with the slick roads. So even though the snowfall has stopped, with how cold it is, any of that snow that melted has refrozen, leading to some slick conditions out there.
Temperatures still below freezing, by the way, so be careful. Andrew White does say should warm up next week, likely to have temperatures in the 50s. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Are you thinking this year I want to look and feel better and get my hair back? We Grow Hair Indy can help you do just that. I'm Rob, and I got my hair back at We Grow Hair Indy. Here's Darren Andrews, clinic director, to tell you why I chose them.
For nearly 20 years, we've helped thousands of clients grow their hair back, and we can help you. We're one of only 2 places in the entire country to offer the Artist Robotic FUE and multi-unit hair grafting.
I got multi-unit hair grafting. I love the results and cannot believe how much hair I got back. I can't recommend them enough. Call right now, 317-522-2995 for a free evaluation. Great technology, great company, great people, great results. Go to WeGrowHairIndy.com, see my results, and call 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Don't you want to say, I got my hair back?
The traffic on the 5s at 4:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison southbound 65 delayed by 6 minutes from MLK down to Meridian Penn. Northbound 465 on the east side slow from 70 up to Penn Pike. And then eastbound 465 slow roll from Keystone Avenue over to I-69 downtown. Eastbound 70 stop and go traffic before West Street into the South Split. That's only a 2-minute delay right now. Traffic sponsored by B Window this month at bwindow.com. Receive $400 off per window and $250 per patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing. B Window, proud to be employee owned. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
We'll see some sunshine today, but another cold afternoon. Highs right around 21, but feels like temperatures into the single digits. We'll see low temperatures tonight fall to 11. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock!
Yeah, so Trump's pick for FBI Director Kash Patel confirmed. He is a national security prosecutor, advisor to Donald Trump in several different roles, including national intelligence and Secretary of Defense. And he is going to go into the FBI and get down to business. The FBI has their fair share of controversial incidents, including the whole Russian. I'm still the whole Russian collusion thing back when Donald Trump was first running for president, and the FBI using those phony FISA warrants to spy on Trump's campaign. I mean, it's hilarious. The FBI made all this fuss, if you remember, about this Donald Trump aide, Carter Page, because this guy Carter Page, he's a foreign agent. He's infiltrated the Trump campaign. We've got to spy on him. We've got to get these phony FISA warrants filled out. We've got to doctor them so we can spy on the Trump campaign. The FBI never told Trump they thought there was a spy from Russia in his campaign. Don't you think if that were the case, and that here's the reason why we're spying on your campaign, Mr. Trump, is because we think you've been infiltrated. They never told him. And again, Carter Page was never charged or even looked at or mentioned in any reports.
Exactly. And then they based the FISA warrant to a large degree on the fake Steele dossier.
Yes, it was all based on that.
The FBI knew was fake. And by the way, that was paid for by who? Hillary Clinton's
The
law
DNC,
firm.
yeah.
It was a DNC.
Yeah.
There was a law firm working for the DNC that produces the Steele dossier. They based the FISA warrant on that, and the FBI knew it was fake at the time. That's why I'm so excited about Kash Patel going in and, man, getting into all those files, digging up all that information, finding out who's responsible.
The Epstein client list.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the things he said he was going to get released his first few weeks in office there at the FBI as the FBI director. So, yeah, I think liberal heads are spinning right now, but with good reason. If they are, there's a good reason for it.
Well, there is, Nigel. And you know what's at the top of the list? And this is at the top of the list because even though this guy has a pardon, his dad doesn't, and that's the Hunter Biden laptop. The number one thing on my list is because, by the way, because you came out with all these, these fake security types who came out, and said, "Oh, it's all Russian disinformation," when there was no information. It was ever
51
Russian
intelligence officers.
Yeah, exactly.
All signed that document,
So
including
that was
Brennan
a lie.
and Clapper.
And even after that whole claim has been discredited, and even though the Hunter Biden laptop was used by the Department of Justice in his criminal case, it was validated and entered into evidence. We still don't know what's on that, including all the evidence on there against who? The big guy. We still know nothing. We still know nothing about that.
And just probably not as serious, but equally, as egregious probably is the FBI going to big tech and going to Facebook and saying, hey, we've got this laptop thing. It's Russian disinformation. You might want to just ignore it.
Exactly right.
And then what's his face? Zuckerdork says, well, when the FBI kind of says you might want to think about throttling this back, it's Russian disinformation. You do what you're told. Yeah. And not so many words. They knew it was legit, yet they told Facebook and other entities, social media platforms, to ignore it.
Now, big question. Do you think all the information on that laptop or anything else we've talked about, all the information about the origination of the Steele dossier and the FISA warrant, do you think all that information's been preserved? You think if Kash Patel wanders into somebody's office and goes, hey, pull me up all the files on the Steele dossier, pull me up all the files on Hillary Clinton's deleted emails, pull me up all the files on the Epstein client list or on the Hunter Biden laptop. Give me the I want to take the laptop into my office as director of the FBI. You think that's all going to be available?
Are you kidding me? It's all been crushed into 1,000 pieces by Hillary Clinton's hammer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's right.
Like that scene. I don't know if you've seen that movie 13 Days. Great movie about the Cuban Missile Crisis. And like Bobby Kennedy, his last chance at peace goes to the Russian embassy there in D.C., and they pull up and they look at the Russian embassy, and there's just white smoke billowing out of the chimney. Oh, they're burning all their documents. Looks like we're going to nuclear war here with this Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah,
thing.
well, that's why I brought up the movie Argo.
Yes.
That scene where the the Islamists from Iran are taking over the U.S. embassy, and they rush down into the basement where CIA is headquartered and say, "Burn everything." That's what I imagine is going on at the FBI right about the time they heard Kash Patel, if not before, by the way, but at the time they hear Kash Patel's been confirmed.
A couple of things on immigration real quick. There's an appeals court rejected Trump's attempt. He's been trying to restate his ban. Well, I don't know if it's his ban, but the ban on birthright citizenship, which basically prevents a kid born to parents illegally in the United States from gaining automatic citizenship. So this is going to be a Supreme Court thing. We're going to see.
Well, it is, and I got to tell you, look, as much as I support what President Trump's trying to accomplish, and including on immigration, it's a bit of a stretch because the Constitution, as amended, says you're a citizen of the United States if you're born or naturalized in the United States, and so there has to be, there is a legal argument for why that shouldn't apply to someone whose parents are illegally in the country at the time they're born in the country. But the plain meaning, the plain wording of that provision of the 14th Amendment seems to support the people who say that Trump's executive order on that is unconstitutional. But I think your point is the most important one, Nigel, which is the Supreme Court's going to have to parse that out.
More stuff on immigration. Trump issued this order pretty much aimed at taxpayer-funded benefits for illegal immigrants. And I'll give you the perfect example of what he's talking about. Here is Veterans Affairs Secretary Doug Collins. He's on this radio show, Will Cow radio show. pretty much confirmed Biden's administration's Veterans Affairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Under the Biden administration, diverted manpower away from veteran care.
Did the VA, under the previous administration, move resources away from veteran care into benefits for illegals?
I think what we've found is, as far as not maybe much invested, but we actually took time away from what I'll call veteran care to process health applications and stuff is what we have seemed to find. And we're still looking into this. That's going to stop.
I mean, I know they weren't putting illegals at Walter Reed.
Yeah,
I mean,
no. But there was use of resources that were going to help process this mass claim that could be better directed.
So use of resources that could have been better directed towards American veterans instead of people that were here illegally. And that's one of the things that DOJ is looking at here. That's one of the things that Donald Trump is issuing here with this taxpayer-funded benefit executive order that he signed. I don't know if it's an executive order or some sort of anyway, it's an order basically aimed at these benefits for illegal immigrants that are here, and some of these funds that Joe Biden was using was being used for other things other than Veterans Affairs.
Well, yeah, and here,
right?
I mean, what group should we be taking better care of than our American veterans, especially the disabled veterans that are really in need of that assistance, who are only disabled because they put their lives on the line, in defense of their country and put themselves in harm's way. But I'll tell you, if I'm a veteran and I hear that, that resources that should have come to me are going to illegal aliens, I'm upset. I'm just about as upset as the people in North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee who are still living in tents, who have no electricity and no roads, hearing about the millions and millions of dollars that were spent to put illegal aliens up in New York luxury hotels.
I think the good news is that we can say that the border numbers are down in terms of incidents and immigrants trying to cross illegally, and gotaways are in the low triple digits when they were in the thousands every day.
Tens of thousands, yeah.
So who is Donald Trump going to deport next is the big question, according to the governor of Illinois. Hammer has a nickname for him. I'll let Hammer had this AI post earlier today on X of the governor of Illinois. It is just totally outrageous, disgusting, and inappropriate at the same time. But here's Governor Pritzker suggesting that Trump's going to try to deport more than just people that are here illegally.
What comes next? After we've discriminated against, deported, or disparaged all the immigrants and the gay and lesbian and transgender people, the developmentally disabled, the women, and the minorities, once we've ostracized our neighbors and betrayed our friends, after that, when the problems we started with are still there staring us in the face, what comes next? All the atrocities of human history lurk in the answer to that question.
He actually, that was a governor of Illinois. Is he actually suggesting that Donald Trump's going to deport the gays and the mentally disabled?
It's so ridiculous.
And that's what he was there saying. That's what he said it, right?
Yeah.
Did I not hear that? Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah.
That's what's next
exactly.
After deporting violent, criminal, illegal immigrants. Then it's the gays and the women.
Yeah, and disabled people.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I can't win. Matt Bear, what's going on?
What's happening, Nigel? Looking at 38th and Meridian Street, that's a crash, and we are slow into the intersection in most directions right now. I'd stay clear of that for a half hour. Eastbound 70 dragging into the south split, backed up to Harding Street for a 3-minute delay. Inbound 65 slows. Inbound K2 Meridian Penn, that is a 4-minute delay. Crash. East side, 42nd and Franklin Road, crash, State Road 37. This is up in Noblesville 37 at Pleasant Street. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
22 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center coming up next. Is this anything?
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi. My daughter invited her entire class to her birthday party. Can my Wi-Fi handle it?
Oh, well, at Xfinity, our latest gateways have tri-band Wi-Fi technology, letting you connect hundreds of devices at once.
No way. So if all the kids are watching stuff on their phones, well, their parents are sharing videos online.
Yep, go ahead and watch videos. They can all do their thing and party their way. No problem.
Oh, we are gonna need a bigger cake.
Now through March 23rd, get Xfinity Gig Internet for $25 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract when you add an unlimited mobile line. Plus, get free Wi-Fi equipment included for 2 years. Switch today and join the network that delivers gig speed to the most homes. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless plan auto-pay start bank account. Taxes and fees extra. $40 internet discount applied to mobile bill. After 12 months, internet rate increases to $65. After 24 months, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Reduce mobile speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Data thresholds and actual internet speeds vary.
The deals and specials are sizzling hot. It's the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Stoutfield National Guard Armory on West Minnesota Street. The best dealers in the region, hundreds of tables, just $6 for adults, kids 12 and under free. Must be 18 or accompanied by an adult. Buy, sell, trade this Saturday 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Stoutfield National Guard Armory. For more info, visit CentralIndianaGunShows.com.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant and home office, 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like Reinhardt Heating and Cooling? Well, find that American Standard dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Do it. Oh, by the way, we're brought to you by Window Nation. Get 50% off all styles of windows and don't pay anything for 5 years, even if you're just thinking about getting windows. 866-90-NATION. Ask a rep for a free quote. Go to windownation.com. My man, Guy Relford, filling in for one, Mr. Jason Hammer. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to do Ask the Gun Guy. So Guy Relford is a seasoned Second Amendment attorney, licensed firearms instructor. And usually when he fills in for either Hammer or I, we will do the Ask the Gun Guy segment, and it is huge. So, I guess you could start calling now. We're not going to start taking calls till a little bit after 4:30. We'll do a couple of Is This Anything stories, and then we'll get right to it. 239-9393. Is this the secret guy to reheating pizza, dunking it in water first? We've all ordered pizza, had it the next day, not nearly as good. This is the secret according to this woman on social media.
The best way to reheat your pizza. If you dunk your pizza in water before air frying or microwaving it, it turns out just as fresh as when you bought it. Let's dunk it into the water, now into the air fryer. All right, I put it in for 3 minutes. It's definitely feeling crispier on the crust. Let's do a taste test. It tastes exactly how it tasted last night, fresh from the box.
Is this anything? Do you buy it? Dunking leftover pizza in water, then putting it in the air fryer.
No, if there was ever a time we needed to have the YouTube camera on producer Allison, it was within that when you asked that question, because the look of disgust on Allison's face was it just summed up exactly how I feel about this.
I'd try it. I think I would try it.
What do you?
Yeah.
Well,
why not?
I think there's more to heating up. I think we all know that if you want a better way of having eating leftover pizza is not just by sticking it in the microwave for 30 seconds, right? It's an air fryer. It's even firing up the oven, maybe even putting it on a skillet on the stove.
Ugh, that's so much work.
Yeah, it's a lot more work, but it tastes better than just the average everyday microwave. I've never heard of dunking pizza in water and reheating it, though.
Is being the old guy in the room, I'll guarantee you, I have eaten more reheated pizza than certainly anybody in this room, and maybe most people on the planet. And look, a little bit of moisture is important, so there wouldn't be anything wrong with sticking a little bowl of water or a cup of water, and I've done this, in a microwave as you're heating up your pizza. But to dunk the whole damn thing, I mean, you can end up with a glass of with it's half full of pepperoni and sausage and pieces of cheese that have come off on the damn in the damn cup of water you just used. No, dunk it. No, you want to use a little moisture in the microwave, makes all the sense in the world. Dunking it, oh hell no.
And then what do you do? Here's the problem I have, and total first world problems. I don't care. This is just, I'm living my own reality. We have Friday night pizza nights at our household. It never gets we never end up finishing the whole thing. And then we have this giant box of pizza that won't fit either in our main refrigerator or our beer fridge. So I have to take each individual slice and wrap it in foil.
No, man, it's a 1 gallon Ziploc. You can put an entire pizza, just break it up into its pieces. You can put half a pizza in a 1 gallon Ziploc and throw it in the fridge, and it's good to go. And in fact, if you wanted to dribble a little water inside that Ziploc, crack it so it doesn't blow up on you, throw that whole thing in the microwave, good to go.
A Michigan man is accused of driving 700 miles all the way to Pennsylvania to light a house on fire where a man who was talking to his ex-girlfriend lives. All people in the house survived. Harrison Jones, this guy's name's arrested. Here's police talking about the fire.
This is a family's worst nightmare, to be asleep in their home, not knowing that a stranger broke into their home and attempted to take their lives by setting their home on fire.
Smoke is seen coming from the rear of the property and an explosion of fire. He drove over 730 miles, 11 hours, to do what he did, and then drove directly back home.
Good Lord, obsessed much?
Yeah.
700 miles, all right, going to set this house on fire. All right, it's on fire. I'm headed back home.
Well, first of all, this is something. The fact that this guy actually drove 700 miles. So, hey, I admire commitment. But look at the facts here. This wasn't even his current girlfriend. It's an ex-girlfriend that somebody's talking to. And then at the end of the day, and we have to be serious about this, he committed arson that could have killed multiple people. So this is a serious crime. This guy is going to do, I would guess, a commensurately serious amount of time in the penitentiary, and deserves it. But the 700 miles part, I mean, that's something. But come on, dude, ex-girlfriend, get over it. Flip the switch, move on.
Should we start taking calls for Ask the Gun Guy?
Absolutely, we should.
Let's get out of this segment on time. 317-239-9393. Guy Relford, 2A attorney, licensed firearms instructor. What typically do people ask you? Like, what kinds of questions are you looking for?
We get great questions. We get legal questions about what people can and can't do with a firearm. We get great self-defense questions. When can I defend my home, my neighbors, my friends, myself, my car, my property, self-defense. Great other, traveling with firearms. And then it's not just legal issues, because as you mentioned, I'm an instructor. I wrote a book on gun safety. So a lot of times people just want advice generally on firearm selection, use of a firearm, training. I've been an instructor for 30 years. So that and anything else firearm related, Second Amendment related, what's going on in politics, in the General Assembly or in Congress that can affect our gun rights, all those things, and anything else, Second Amendment related, gun related, give us a call, 317-239-9393.
And if Allison gets you on hold, stay there. We'll be right back with Ask the Gun Guy. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
It's tax time. And tax time is your time to buy a new Nissan and get double your tax refund or down payment only at Andy Moore Nissan of Indianapolis. For a limited time, when you buy any new Nissan, Andy Moore Nissan will double your tax refund or down payment up to $5,000. That means your $1,000 becomes $2,000. Your $2,000 becomes $4,000. Your $4,000 becomes $8,000. This month only, Andy Moore Nissan will double your down payment up to $10,000. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Good credit, bad credit, even no credit. Our credit experts will get you approved with the best terms, with as little as $0 down on any new Nissan in stock. Andy Moore Nissan is making deals other dealers won't and approving deals other dealers can't. Andy Moore Nissan, 4302 Lafayette Road, Indianapolis, Indiana.
At Busey Wealth Management, we're proud to partner with individuals, families, and foundations, ensuring possibilities become achievements. From preserving and enhancing your assets to securing your legacy for future generations, we're focused on your success. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth. Since 1868, member FDIC.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed the musty smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean that you could have a crawl space problem. That's where Indiana Foundation Service comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your crawl space and get to the root cause of the problem. Schedule your free inspection at indianafoundation.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Indiana could be getting bigger. 19 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis. Nothing to worry about when you check the radar. Low down to 8 degrees tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:31. Some counties in Illinois could join Indiana if this bill becomes law. John Havrick reports.
A bill to create a commission that would discuss the possibility of Indiana annexing counties from Illinois passed the House on Thursday and now heads to the Senate. Indiana House Speaker Todd Houston says it's flattering to hear people in Illinois say they want to become a part of Indiana, but this still requires approval from both state legislatures along with Congress. Houston says Indiana's appealing because its economy is growing at a faster rate than all of its neighboring states. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Deputy Chief of Staff of Police and Homeland Security Stephen Miller says Donald Trump has had a productive first 4 weeks in office.
No president comes close to what Donald Trump has achieved over just the last 30 days. He has packed 8 years of transformative action, restoring this nation, restoring our laws, restoring fairness, restoring economic opportunity, restoring national security.
A lot of Trump's time has been spent signing executive orders since he's moved back in at the White House. Plenty of those have also been held up in courts because of lawsuits, people who don't agree with him. Trump's also been critical of Ukraine's president the last few days. Fox's Jared Halpern says his national security advisor is only doubling down on the criticisms.
National Security Advisor Mike Waltz says President Trump is obviously very frustrated with Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky.
Some of the rhetoric coming out of Kyiv, frankly, and insults to President Trump were unacceptable.
Waltz also criticized Zelensky for turning aside a U.S. proposal for access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals as part of a cost-sharing agreement.
It can only be described as a historic opportunity.
Waltz did not directly answer questions about whether Ukraine is responsible for Russia's invasion nearly 3 years ago or if President Trump considers Russian President Vladimir Putin a dictator. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
And pretty much every part of the state got some snow from last night into this morning.
We had some reports of snow amounts as high as 3.5 inches. Here at the airport, we had just under 2 inches with that event.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service says a lot of that snow also froze because of how cold it's been. You should have temperatures into the 50s by next week. And a tough day in the market. The Dow down by 450, closing at 44,176. The Nasdaq down by 93 to finish at 19,962. The S&P 500 fell by 26 points to close today at 6,117. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:33.
Here's how Tax Rise saved Yvonne over 99% on what she owed the IRS.
I got a letter from the IRS saying that I owe $69,000, and I had no idea what to do. That's when I contacted you guys.
Our tax professionals at Tax Rise jumped into action. They helped Yvonne file her back taxes and get into compliance, but they didn't stop there. They negotiated directly with the IRS to fight for her case.
Effective immediately, the IRS has accepted. All they want in return is $100.
Thank you guys so much. I can't even explain how grateful I am.
We're so happy we got Yvonne the relief she deserved. We've helped thousands of clients find solutions to their tax problems, and we're ready to help you. To find out if you qualify for a tax relief program, call TaxRise today, 888-829-0991. For a free consultation, call 888-829-0991, 888-829-0991.
Results vary, not guaranteed, uncompensated testimonial. TaxRise is not IRS affiliated or a law firm.
On traffic at 4:34, here's Matt Bear.
Crash 38th at Meridian Street. Also looking at eastbound 70 into the south split, backed up to Belmont. That's an 8-minute delay. Inbound 65 slows before 21st, down to the north split. Crash Noblesville, State Road 37 at Pleasant Street. On the east side, northbound 465 slows up before Penn Pike up to 75th and eastbound 465. Stop and go traffic Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radio. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
We'll see some sunshine today, but another cold afternoon. Highs right around 21, but feels like temperatures into the single digits. We'll see low temperatures tonight fall to 11. I'm Wish TV Storm Tracking meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Yeah, this is when I turn it over to Jason Hammer's fill-in, Guy Relford. My name is Nigel. Guy Relford is a 2A attorney, licensed firearms instructor, host of the Gun Guy Show. This is the segment where we ask the gun guy, 239-9393. Guy, who do we have?
Absolutely, and we've got an absolutely full phone bank. But hey, we're doing 2 full segments, are we not,
right.
Nige?
That's
so
right.
If you still want to call in, 317-239-9393, we'll probably still get to you. But let's go to the phone lines. We've got Mark. Mark, welcome to Hammer and Nigel.
Thank you, Guy.
Sure.
I'm the 50-year-old resident of Avon. In 2016, I purchased my first firearm. In 2017, I applied for and received a lifetime concealed carry license. And up till 2024, I purchased about 10 or 15 guns. My last gun purchase was denied. And after doing some research, I found that I was charged in 1992. I was charged with the felony, was pleaded down to a misdemeanor. So it seems like the ATA missed something, and I have been in possession of some firearms and been able to purchase firearms with a felony on my record.
Wow.
Well, if it was pled down to a misdemeanor, Mark, then that shouldn't prohibit you from possessing a firearm or buying a firearm, with some exceptions. And listen, I'm not suggesting for a minute this applies to you, but for instance, a misdemeanor crime of domestic violence. something like battery if it involved a significant other, or it doesn't need to be the specific crime of domestic battery. It could just be battery if it's involves, a spouse or former spouse or live-in girlfriend or something along those lines. That misdemeanor conviction can cause you to not be able to purchase a firearm and make you a prohibited possessor. But if you contact my office, if you just go to relfordlaw.com, you'll see all the contact information, Mark. If you give me a call, we can get into specifics that I'm sure you don't want to get into on the radio and look at exactly what you were charged with. I can pull it up on my computer and see exactly what we're talking about, and that way I can give you a lot better advice. And by the way, no matter what it is, we can likely either restore your rights or clarify for the FBI that you shouldn't have been denied to begin with. And I do that all the time for people. It's part of the services we provide at my law firm, and I'd be happy to help. Let's go back to the phone lines, and Andrew's called. Andrew, welcome to Hammer and Nigel.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good, man. You doing all right?
Oh, not too bad. I got pulled over, it's been several years ago, for speeding, and, no, I know you don't have to tell the cop, hey, I got a gun, but I did, because I'm like, hey, for your safety of mine, got a firearm. He asked to run the serial number on that to make sure it was not stolen or that it was actually registered to me. I wanted to know if I legally had to hand him over my gun in that instance, seeing as I was pulled over for speeding, and that's the only thing he had me.
And was he even allowed to run the serial number for that?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got to take possession of it to pull the serial number off of it. So it all, right. You're right, Nigel. That's the question, but it all goes together. And yeah, let me answer that for you, Andrew. And listen, there are fights you win on the side of the road, and there are fights you don't win on the side of the road. And this is not necessarily a fight you win right there during a traffic stop, but there's a real good case in Indiana from 2010. It's called Melvin Washington versus State. And Melvin was in the same situation as you. He got pulled over for something pretty minor. I think it was his headlight out or something. And a police officer, and he told the officer, hey, there's a gun in the car. I have my license to carry. This was obviously before constitutional carry. Police officer said, well, I'm going to need to take possession of that gun during the traffic stop. And Melvin didn't consent to that, but the officer did it anyway. The officer found the gun, but also found drugs, and Melvin was prosecuted for the drugs. The Court of Appeals looked at the constitutionality of that officer searching for and seizing that gun during a traffic stop. And what the Court of Appeals said very clearly is, listen, the mere presence of a gun in a vehicle does not give an officer a sufficient, what we call reasonable articulable suspicion of criminal activity or danger to the officer, and that's the standard that allows for a search of the vehicle for that gun or the seizure of that gun from that driver. So that's an unconstitutional seizure and a violation of your Fourth Amendment rights, which protects us against unreasonable searches and seizures. So the answer to your question, Andrew, it was not lawful for him to do that. A lot of times officers will ask you, maybe they know it's unlawful, maybe they don't, but they figure you're going to consent because they're the officer, it's a traffic stop, you're just trying to get on down the road. But whether you win that argument on the side of the road is a whole other question. But if I were faced with that situation, and my license plate says gun lawyer, so maybe the cop's going to know a little bit of who he's talking to, but I would say, sir, I don't believe that's a lawful order. I'd ask you to reconsider that. You may want to check with the supervisor as to whether it's legal for you to demand my firearm as part of this stop. At the end of the day, I'm going to do what you tell me to do. I don't consent to it, and I believe you're violating my constitutional right. I would do that respectfully. I would do that with my hands at 10 and 2. I don't want to get tased. I don't want to get arrested. I don't want to get hauled out of the car and handcuffed. But I would explain to them I don't believe that's a lawful order. And let's go back to the phone lines. And Mike is called. Mike, welcome to Hammer and Nigel, man. What do you got for the gun guy?
Hey, thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
My question is, with everything that goes on as far as, we carry lawfully, we try to abide by all the laws for carrying a weapon. Would it be better for us, lawful gun owners to carry something that's non-lethal
or less lethal, yeah,
or less lethal? That way we don't get in as much trouble or have to jump through a bunch of hoops for protecting ourselves and others.
Well, my answer to that is all of the above. In other words, what I always have in my vehicle, if not on my person, is more than just a firearm. because there's what's called a force continuum. A lot of times you're justified in using reasonable force in self-defense or defense of other people, but you're not justified in using deadly force. Well, does that mean you want to be empty-handed? In other words, is it a gun or nothing? And the answer to that should be, for everyone, to no, I want to have some availability of the use of some force other than my empty hands, even when I'm not justified in using deadly force, which is always implicated when you're talking about the use of a gun. So, for instance, I always have OC spray. I love carrying.
Of course, OC spray or a bat versus a guy with a gun.
Well, if a guy's got a gun, Nige, then I'm using my gun.
Okay, that's why you said you have multiple choices.
That's why I want to have multiple choices.
Not everybody has
if the guy's got
choices.
a gun, he's getting shot. So but let's say he doesn't have a gun, but there's three guys, and they want to, and they come over and start pounding on my window. Do I want to shoot them all? Well, not necessarily. Would I rather have a collapsible baton and OC spray? The answer to that's yes. That's why I keep both of those in the map well of my car. I like to carry a canister of OC spray. And the collapsible baton's a big deal. I'm always carrying a knife. Now, a knife is certainly a deadly weapon, but there may be a time when you get that, open it up, you can dissuade someone from wanting to mess around with you. So I always believe in applying that force continuum and being able to have some weapon that's not necessarily my gun, so I'm not necessarily using deadly force when I'm not justified in using my gun, or I have some concern about being justified in using my gun. We're about ready for a break here, aren't we not?
Let's do it. Let's take a break. If you're on hold, stay there. If you got a question for the gun guy, Guy Relford filling in for Hammer, 239-9393. We'll be right back. Still plenty of time to get a new coating in your garage floor for the cold weather season. If your garage floor is cracked and dirty and dusty and uneven and has not been maintained and was over 40 years old like mine, wouldn't it be nice to have a brand new coating, smooths everything out? It's not slippery. It's 4 times as strong. That's what Galaxy Concrete Coatings did for my garage. My new Galaxy Concrete garage floor coating is out of this world. They did such an awesome job. I want to have them back into my basement to take a look at the concrete in my furnace room. Galaxy Concrete Coatings can do your garage, basement, pool deck, any indoor, outdoor area. Concrete, lifetime warranty, not that you'll need it. Check out the website and see pictures. Get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call them, 751-9070.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-239-1749, 800-239-1749, or biglou.com.
Blood, sweat, tears. At Bill Estes, we know it takes hard work and years of doing the right thing to build a business people can depend on. That's why we don't make empty promises and expect your trust. Estes earns it. From Ford F-150s and Toyota Tacomas to Ram 1500s and Chevy Silverados, we have the trucks you'll love at prices you can believe in. But don't just take our word for it. Your trust means something. Estes earns it. BillEstes.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year? Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy. IT? Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI. That's what I did. Really? How? Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up. Sweet. Are classes online or on campus? Both. Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, retirement, maybe even kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you really need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. We're committed to helping protect your personal interests and the life you've built. Don't let divorce take more than it has to. Talk to us today.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
Talking on the phone is difficult if you've been exposed to loud noises over time. Combat veterans, factory workers, farmers, gun and motorcycle enthusiasts can have trouble hearing on the telephone. Relay Indiana helps return clarity to your phone conversations. A free service providing telecom accessibility, Relay Indiana allows hard of hearing users to have normal phone conversations through specially trained relay operators. Relay Indiana also provides free loaned equipment to those who qualify. Get the CapTel caption telephone from Relay Indiana. Visit RelayIndiana.com now.
Stop putting up with lousy well water. You just can't find anybody better than the pros at C&J. Great systems and great people, too. Call C&J at 317-852-WELL.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIBC.com.
Matt Baer, what's going on?
Yeah, Nigel, looking at eastbound 70 stop-and-go traffic from Harding Street into the South Split, 5-minute delay. Inbound 65 slows before 21st to Meridian Penn. Looking at Boone County, northbound 65 slow out of the Dogleg to Whitestown Parkway. Northeast side, eastbound 465 stop-and-go before and after Keystone Avenue. At inbound 69 drags from 96th Street to 82nd. Crash in Noblesville, State Road 37 at Pleasant Street. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
22 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. I'm Nigel. Guy Relford filling in for Hammer. He's the gun guy. He is doing the Ask the Gun Guy segment to a attorney. Go ahead, man.
Absolutely. Let's go right back to the phone lines, get as many callers in as we can. And Todd, you're up. Welcome to Hammer and Nigel.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I work construction, and we're working at one of these great high schools around the state, and I just didn't know what the rule was about your firearm with you, if you can have it locked in your vehicle or
on school property. Great question, Todd. I am proud to say I wrote a bill a few years ago that got passed into law that changed the gun on a school property statute. And now, if it is in a locked vehicle out of sight, the exact words of the statute are, if it's locked in the trunk of a vehicle, locked in the glove compartment of a locked vehicle, or otherwise stored out of sight in a locked vehicle, then you can have a gun on school property. There's some exceptions to that, like for students who were there or people who have been expelled. In your situation, as long as it's locked in the vehicle and out of sight, and those are the two most important factors, it's out of sight and the vehicle's locked, then you're legal. You're good to go. Let's go back to the phone lines. And by the way, that's been the law, I wouldn't say about 5 years. We just changed that. So I don't blame you for not knowing that necessarily, because it's a fairly recent change in Indiana law. But for people in your circumstance, or even a parent who wants to go have lunch with their kid, what, I got to leave my gun at home all day because I'm going to have lunch with my kid? No, now I can leave it locked out of sight in my vehicle on school property and be legal. Back to the phone lines. We got Paul. Paul, welcome to Hammer and Nigel, man. What you got?
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Good, buddy.
Hey, just won't take up much of your time. Got a quick question there for Guy. I've got a pardon going on in a different state, and I just did the pardon. I didn't do the expungement. How important is the expungement in order to constitutional carry?
Well, you can't be a prohibited possessor and carry a gun under constitutional carry. So if you have a felony conviction, anywhere, that makes you a prohibited possessor. Again, there are other prohibitors like crimes of domestic violence, that type thing. So, Paul, it's very important. Even if it's in another state, if you have any felony conviction or anything else on your record that prohibits you from possessing a firearm, then you can't carry a handgun under constitutional carry. And by the way, with a felony conviction, under federal law, you're looking at potentially 10 years in federal prison.
What do you mean pardon? Is Joe Biden pardoning this guy?
Well,
the kind we're talking about?
I took it as a state pardon, which would be the governor.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But now, if a governor pardons you, that restores your rights. And it says that right in the federal statute. And I'm sure the same would apply under Indiana statutes. That would apply the restore your rights under federal law as well as state law. Okay. So if you get a pardon from the governor, and listen, I would check perhaps with somebody who, like the attorney, I assume there's an attorney helping with your pardon to make sure that that's true in the law where the pardon is occurring in the state, in that state rather. But yeah, that should restore your rights, no problem. Go back to the phone lines, and Ray has called. Ray, welcome to Hammer and Nigel.
Good afternoon, Guy. First and foremost, you rock. You're amazing.
Thank you so much.
That being said, I know you represented, I believe it was Eli, the young man that defended or took out the terrorists at the Greenwood Park Mall.
Yeah, Elijah Dickin. I sure did, down in Greenwood.
Was you able to have access to him that night, or did they run him through the ringer and give him like a breathalyzer, a drug test, and everything under the sun to see if he was under something?
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I won't share some of those details, Ray, but I will share this. The family called me and hired me, and by the way, I that was all pro bono. I didn't charge Eli anything at all, and wouldn't in that circumstance with a hero like that. But the family retained me while Eli was still talking to police, and Greenwood police. Look, I'm the first to say, and I get crosswise with cops all the time. It's part of my job as a defense attorney. But I have to say that Chief James Eisen down there in Greenwood and the Greenwood PD, they did a fabulous job under tough circumstances. And I'm a big fan of Chief Eisen and the officers involved in that investigation. It took a while to clear everything up that they had to clear, including a long effort to try to get into the bad guy's phone after getting into his computer. But they did a first-class job, and I think they did what they needed to do with Eli. I was actually on my way to Greenwood, and I was actually going to walk in the police station and say, all right, this interview's over. Thank you very much. We're going home, which, you can do. And it's easier for an attorney to do that, certainly, than the person being questioned. But I was on my way to do that, got another call and said, no, Eli's been released. And so I didn't actually talk to Eli until the next morning there in the kitchen at his mom and his stepdad's house. And that's when I got the full story down there.
We could spend an hour commercial free on that.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
I get a lot of inquiries about that.
Amazing story.
It's amazing stuff. And you know what? I've taken now 3 classes as a student where I've gone in, and the instructor says at some point during the class, we're going to do what's called a Dickin drill, and that's where we're actually trying to engage a target from 40 yards away and hit it 8 out of 10 times in under 15 seconds.
All right, coming up, if you missed it, big announcement for Carb Day, plus another Donald Trump confirmation got through. That's next on the Hammer and Nigel Throw.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five. Yeah.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Ooh, up top, bike shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messelthorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros. And a thank you to our loyal customers for making our agency a national sales leader for the 7th straight year. We recently saved a family of 4 over $500 monthly when compared to their ACA plan. You know it's still Obamacare, right? We recently saved a 61-year-old retiring couple over $600 when compared to their COBRA plan. Breaking news. We are now able to offer health insurance to employer groups of all sizes with 2 of the largest insurers in the Midwest. We'll be here when you need us. Quoting my favorite president, what the heck do you have to lose? We can help. As always, God bless America, or at least what's left of her.
Call Ron or Terry at 317-563-0868. That's 317-563-0868. Or go to rragency.org. That's rragency.org. A health plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance to buy $1 million of affordable term life for you. All you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-239-1749. 800-239-1749.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Maintenance is going to drastically increase the efficiency and performance of your system. It's also going to significantly improve the longevity of it. People think that they are saving money by skipping their maintenance, and in reality, they're just shaving years off the life and increasing the consumption of that unit, spending a lot more in the long term.
Get your tune-up today at Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Coming up in a couple of minutes, if you haven't already heard, a bill's been proposed to add some Illinois counties to Indiana, and the state should be clear of any snow, at least for a few weeks. Those stories coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
A special guest at the White House, Lisa Brady, Fox News. The crowd coaxing golfer Tiger Woods to speak.
It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be here with you, Mr. President, and to be on the road here with all of you. Thank you so much.
And this as President Trump led an event in honor of Black History Month.
Today we pay tribute to the generations of Black legends, champions, warriors, and patriots who helped drive our country forward.
Also highlighting his revived plan for an American Heroes statue garden. Democrats have criticized a Trump purge of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. After 1 month in office, the president forging full steam ahead with sweeping cuts in the federal workforce and considering a plan to send some savings back to taxpayers.
So-called DOGE dividend checks sent to taxpayers could make up about 20% of what the Trump administration says will be saved from rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse in federal spending.
President Trump has made a historic commitment to the working class of this country to fight for major tax relief and major price relief.
Deputy White House Chief of Staff Stephen Miller says details of the dividend plan will be worked out by Congress as part of a major tax and spending bill being negotiated by Republicans.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House, the president's top economic advisor, insisting dividend checks would not risk inflation. A federal judge will let mass firings of federal workers continue for now, rejecting a bid by several labor unions to stop the downsizing while a legal fight plays out. Former Defense, Justice, and National Security Council official Kash Patel will be FBI director, winning Senate confirmation today in a mostly party line vote. Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn.
I am really happy to hear Kash Patel say he's going to restore the FBI to its traditional role as a law enforcement agency.
Democrats doubt it. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Who wants some more counties? 20 degrees and sunny in downtown Indianapolis. All clear to radar. Tonight's low drops to 8. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. A proposal to have several Illinois counties join Indiana has now advanced to the Indiana Senate after it passed the House today. John Herrick reports.
If it becomes law, it would create a commission to discuss the possibility of Indiana annexing counties from Illinois. However, the process of getting those counties into Indiana would require approval from both state legislatures and Congress. Indiana House Speaker Todd Houston says Indiana is one of the best states in America for low taxes and affordability. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Testimony was given last night against the Indianapolis Animal Care Services Interim Director Kelly Diamond in front of the Indianapolis City County Council's Community Affairs Committee. This woman says if Diamond were to become the director permanently, that wouldn't be very good.
There are bad policies, cutting free volunteer hours, not running appropriate background checks. Obviously, there is low morale.
The City County Council could vote on Diamond's appointment at its next meeting, March 3rd. Indiana's near total abortion ban says the state has to release records on any abortion that happens. It's currently on hold, reports Jake McDaniel.
For the time being, though, Marion County Superior Court Judge James Hoven is blocking access by filing a temporary restraining order to abortion records over a week at least. Shortly after Governor Mike Braun took office, he signed an executive order by directing the Department of Health to make those records public. Voices for Life, which is an anti-abortion group, is suing Indiana so they can have access to those records. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And Indiana was on the receiving end of some snowfall this week, but things should warm up next week.
We will see temperatures reach the freezing point by Saturday, and looking at the potential for seeing temperatures in the 50s early next week.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service says those warmer temperatures should keep up the rest of the month. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
If you're drowning in unresolved tax debt, know this. The IRS can place a lien on your home, garnish your paycheck, and levy your bank account. That's catastrophe for you.
We interrupt this message to bring you some good news about your tax debt. We're TaxRise, experienced tax professionals who can help you seek relief programs and work directly with the IRS on your behalf. Find out if you qualify with a free consultation. 888-788-4220. Eric from South Carolina owed over $74,000. We helped reduce it to $798. Troy, a disabled veteran, owed over $142,000 and settled at $500. We've helped thousands of clients with their tax problems, and we're ready to help you. So take the drama out of your tax debt and rise above your situation with TaxRise. For your free consultation, call 888-788-4220. 888-788-4220.
Results vary, not guaranteed. Client names changed. TaxRise is not IRS affiliated or a law firm.
Traffic on the 5s at 5:05. Here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, looking at Boone County, northbound 65, the slowdown begins after 71st Street and then gets pretty bad around 865 up to Whitestown Parkway. After that, you're gone. Inbound 65 slows 29th at 2 Meridian Penn. That's a 5-minute delay. Eastbound 70, stop and go from Harding into the South Split. North side, eastbound 465, stop and go traffic Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. Inbound 69 slows from 106th Street to 82nd. Crash near Geist. This is Oak Landing Road north of Fox Road. Also a crash College Avenue at 25th. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop the President's Day sale at Grand Appliance for unbeatable deals and appliance expertise you won't find anywhere else. Visit grandappliance.com or store near you today. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Expect a dry, partly cloudy, and very cold Thursday night with lows falling down to the single digits. But we are in for a warmer into the work week with lots of sunshine and light winds. Highs will find their way into the low 30s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna from 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are
weirdos?
So let's rock!
I'm Nigel. Guy Relford, the gun guy filling in for Hammer. Did you see just that pathetic display of about a half a dozen Democrats outside the FBI headquarters earlier this morning? They were all on the Senate Judiciary Committee. And these guys, including the pencil neck Adam Schiff, Senator Adam Schiff, talking about Kash Patel. This is before Kash Patel was confirmed. By the way, Kash Patel, Trump's nomination for FBI director confirmed finally after a bunch of delays and stalling. Here's what Adam Schiff had to say. Senator Schiff. Quote, "This is someone we can't trust. This is someone who lacks the character to do the job. Someone who lacks the integrity to do the job. We know that our Republican colleagues know that. Adam Schiff, the guy that perpetuated the Russian collusion hoax for years on end and said that he had personally seen evidence of Donald Trump's collusion with Russia and leaked false information while he was serving on the House Intelligence Committee, is now who is now over in the Senate before he was confirmed out there saying, doubling down, saying, well, we can't trust this guy. He lacks character. It is beyond comprehension to me. I don't know why I'm still always surprised by the hypocrisy and the irony of these ultra-leftists that think we've forgotten about the past couple of years when you tried to railroad Donald Trump with this fake Russia collusion stuff. That really was a huge waste of everybody's time and taxpayer money, to say the very least.
It's so true, Nige. And, you know, I think these people, and I can't think of a better example of it than Adam Schiff, are so used to getting away with lying, and they're so used to gaslighting the American public and getting away with it. They're so used to looking right in the camera and just offering bold-faced, unsupportable lies and not getting called on it. And a lot of times, I don't think Republicans do nearly a good enough job of calling these people out for some of these just bold-faced lies. Because I remember the interview. I remember when Adam Schiff was asked directly, have you personally seen evidence of Russian collusion, between Russian officials and candidate Trump? And he looked right at the camera and right at the interviewer and said, yes, I have. And when called upon later on, after Comey came out and said, oh, no, we can find no evidence whatsoever of collusion, people asked him, what evidence did you say you had? Well, it's still an ongoing investigation. I can't really answer that. And nobody called him on it. It was a bold-faced lie.
Except for Kash Patel. Yes. And guys like Devin Nunes. But, it was Kash Patel who exposed Adam Schiff's lies and his ilk of all those lies that they forced and perpetuated upon the American people.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like a double whammy here for the Democrats, and especially, it was 51-49. Every Democrat voted against him, and a couple of Republican Collins, Murkowski, the usual suspects.
Yeah, but he had a confirmation hearing. So
that's right. Yeah.
If you've got specific evidence that he lacks integrity, then there's got to be some proof of that, and that's what you had an opportunity to do at the confirmation hearing. And guess what? You can argue with his political foundation. You can argue with what you think he's going to do once he gets confirmed. But if you have evidence of dishonesty, that's what confirmation hearings are for. We heard none of that.
And I think it's funny here. I'm going to pivot just a little bit about this new poll from Quinnipiac University's latest poll. Hardly a right-leaning poll or university to begin with. Democrats hit all-time low. Republicans hit record-high job approvals. This poll from Quinnipiac. First of all, you dive into this thing. I don't know that we necessarily have time to get in the weeds here, but this country is divided as it's ever been on most issues. Like, there's no wishy-washy. There's no squishing here. There's if you don't like Trump, you don't like Trump, and there's nothing that's going to change your mind. If you love Trump or hate him, you love Elon or hate him, it's this or it's that. The one thing that seemed to, I don't know, as I'm reading this Quinnipiac University poll, the one thing that seems to unite everybody is that Democrats suck.
40 congressional Democrats, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, congressional. Thank you for adding that. I have friends that are Democrats. I know you don't all suck. I don't like to paint you all with one brush. But the crux of this poll is that the congressional job approval of the Democrats serving in office are awful. 40% of Democrats approve of the way the Dems in Congress are handling their job, while 49% disapprove. 11% did not offer an opinion. 40% of voters approve the way the Republicans in Congress are handling their job, which is a record high, by the way, for this poll. 40% of voters
for any group,
52% disapprove. But this on the heels of these idiots standing outside the FBI headquarters at their podium, led by pencil neck Adam Schiff, saying, Kash Patel for FBI director. We cannot trust him. He lacks character. From the mouths of the guys that lied to us and said they saw the evidence of Russian collusion. Another reason why I think this university poll from Quinnipiac probably hits home. Again, a left-leaning institution saying congressional Democrats' approvals are at an all-time low, and it doesn't surprise me one bit.
It doesn't me either, Nigel. And you know what I think poll tells us the way Americans are thinking on these issues better than any other poll, and that's the results of the election in November. I think, I think the reason that Trump won every single swing state and won the popular vote and is exclusively because Americans are just sick of being lied to. And I'm sorry, I'm not completely objective on this point, but invariably, if a politician's looking at you right square in the eye through a television camera and they're lying to you, that's probably going to be one of these Democrats in Congress or running for some other office.
And not only that, you said swing states, but the minority vote. I'm not saying you got the majority of African Americans or Hispanics, but certainly, and women as well.
Absolutely.
Certainly more than was predicted by legacy media leading up to the 2024 election.
And Hispanics as well. Exactly right.
Indianapolis Motor Speedway, big announcement. Miller Lite Carb Day, ladies and gentlemen. Bret Michaels of Poison and the All-American Rejects. Friday, May 23rd. Tickets available now at Indianapolis Motor Speedway /Carb Day. Of course, Bret Michaels, iconic lead singer of Poison, has hit after hit after hit. I think he is, I by all means, consider him an honorary Hoosier. He is beloved in this state, especially in this city, performing with the band that had one of the biggest crowds ever inside IMS for Carb Day. So it's going to be Bret Michaels. It's going to be these guys. Do you have the All-American Rejects? Do you have those saved at all? Do you have that one song saved, Allison? Because I want to... They were a huge band like in the early 2000s. I played them all the time, the All-American Rejects, all the time on this radio station when we played pop music. Anything? Yeah. The only one that needs to know you, my dirty little secret. Don't tell anyone or you'll be just another
I crushed this on a Guitar Hero, by the way.
That's all right. Move along. It ends tonight. Dirty Little Secret. So another band along and Bret Michaels, iconic lead singer of Poison, playing Miller Lite Carb Day. Those tickets on sale now for Friday, May 23rd. Matt Bear, my man, what is going on?
What's happening, Nigel? Looking at northbound 65 in Boone County, slowing from 71st Street up to Whitestown Parkway. Crash College Avenue at 25th. Crash near Geist, Oak Landon Road, north of Fox Road. And a crash in Carmel, eastbound 116th Street at US 31. Inbound 65 slows 29th to Meridian Penn for a 6-minute delay, running at a 9-minute delay on southbound 69. That's after 106th Street to 465. Traffic sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They've teamed up with the Indiana Fever and Common Threads to provide local schools with information for nutritious meal preparation. Learn more at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Coming up, I want to talk about this Delta flight that, quote unquote, landed in Toronto, ended up kind of crashing and turning on its belly. Everybody survived, thank God, but media trying to blame it on Donald Trump. You're not going to believe it. I mean, you will believe it, but you won't believe it. We'll have that coming up next. 22 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center, 93 WIBC.
Whether you're preparing for retirement, navigating a life transition, or simply wondering if you're on the right path, Howard Bailey Financial is here to help. Together, we'll work on a personalized plan designed to bring greater clarity to your goals and help you approach decisions with confidence. It's not just about numbers, it's about the life you want to lead and the legacy you want to leave behind. With over 20 years of experience, Howard Bailey Financial has been dedicated to guiding individuals as they work toward taking control of their financial future and finding peace of mind. Text PATH to 888-262-1104 to download a free retirement toolkit and start planning for the retirement you've dreamed of. Howard Bailey Financial, helping you turn hope into a plan and dreams into reality. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 463-251-1912. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 463-251-1912. That's 463-251-1912.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant at home office. 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Yeah, I'm Nigel, Guy Relford, 2A attorney, licensed firearms instructor in 4. Jason Hammer. Your show is Saturdays, 5 to 7, right? It's a call-in show.
Yeah, coming up on my
show.
Coming up on my 10-year anniversary.
You're kidding!
The Gun Guy show. No, this summer. Alice and I were just talking about that off air.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
wow,
been a little while.
Years. Some news in the airlines. A couple small airplanes collided in Arizona, leaving, unfortunately, 2 people deceased. It happened, what they're calling, in an uncontrolled field, which I guess it means there was no air traffic control. They didn't control this specific airport. Here is Captain John Cox talking about the crash and kind of clarifying what an uncontrolled field is.
Small airplanes go in and out of uncontrolled fields frequently. They depend on radio positions to tell each other where the airplanes are, and also visually to watch out for other airplanes. Similar to driving a car, you look outside to make sure you don't hit anything.
Yeah, I don't, man. If I have to fly a plane and I gotta look out the window to make sure there's nothing there before I land. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of sophisticated technology out there these days that would show me, like on radar or maybe somebody in my ear. But I'm landing in an uncontrolled field where, yeah, all right, doesn't look like there's anybody. I mean, the sky is a pretty big area.
Yeah, right.
It's a lot of square footage in the air.
But, having had some friends that are involved in, they call general aviation or private, plane ownership. There are a lot of those little uncontrolled fields around, man. There's a lot of them right around here in central Indiana. And it's up to the pilots. Of course, they're trained in this before they get their pilot's license about what the protocols are, about how you approach an airfield like that, an uncontrolled airspace, and who has priority coming from what direction, what altitudes. I mean, there are protocols, even though there's nobody talking to them in their earphones about what they're supposed to be doing at any particular point in time.
Meanwhile, flyers on that Delta plane, did you see that footage? That was pretty horrifying footage of that Delta plane landing in Toronto. It crash landed in Toronto and went belly up. All those passengers have been offered $30,000 with no strings attached.
Yeah, they can still sue.
Which means I don't know, like passengers accept the money 6 times as much, by the way, as the passengers on the Miracle on the Hudson.
Yeah. With Sully, right?
Sully, yeah. Captain, I was struggling. Yeah, I was thinking of his name, Sully.
Sullenberger,
I think they only got like $5,000 or something like that. But they tell me as a lawyer, and I know this isn't your area of expertise, but $30,000, okay, I'll take the money, but I'm still going to sue you because you guys are morons and you screwed it up. And do they have a case? Would somebody have a case in something like this? Just knowing on the peripheral of what you know about this story, about the Delta plane that was landing, the airport. I don't know. It looked like the runway was snowy and icy. And does somebody that sues civilly have a case here, do you think?
Yeah, well, you'd have to sue under general negligence principles. Yeah. And under negligence, something you learn, your first couple of weeks in law school, there's this principle called res ipsa loquitur, right? And it's Latin for the thing speaks for itself. Res ipsa loquitur.
Okay. Yes.
And the thing speaks for itself. In other words, if one party has exclusive control over something, like in this case, an airplane, and something that typically doesn't happen in the absence of negligence happens, then you can assume negligence, right? So you're coming in, and I don't know that there were any real severe conditions, and maybe more on this will come out, and maybe there was severe wind shear or some other factor they were fighting. But typically, airplanes don't just land at such a way that the landing gear collapse and it turns over and catches on fire. And so did somebody screw something up? I mean, there certainly could be a presumption there that somebody was negligent. At the same time, maybe it was just simply an act of God, and maybe it was just climatic conditions or wind or something else. So, someone, you don't just say, well, you flew an airplane and something bad happened, therefore you have to give me money. But it certainly raises certain, potentially some legal presumptions in that regard.
And then I'm sure there's a simple answer to this. I'm thinking just it's goodwill from Delta saying, here's $30,000. You can still sue us if you want, but we feel really bad about what like, why offer $30,000 with no strings attached if there's still the possibility of a multi-million-dollar lawsuit?
Because I think a lot of people are going to say, you know what, I think I got treated fairly. The $30,000 is enough. Okay. I don't want to have to split it with a lawyer. I don't want to have to go through 3 or 4 years of litigation. I'm just going to be happy with my $30,000. And you know what, if one of them makes that decision, then Delta just saved money. Because they'll spend more than $30,000 defending that lawsuit.
Well, yeah, I think it's like a $2.2 million combined would be the payout for the 76 passengers. They all thankfully survived that flight. I want to go to, is Gayle King on CBS? I don't know. I just always think of her as Oprah's best friend.
Yeah, right.
I guess she is on some mainstream legacy media morning show. I think she's on CBS.
Yeah, I can
listen to her try to bait the Delta Airlines CEO here, fresh off this accident at the Toronto airport, where again the plane landed and wound up belly up. Everybody survived. She tries to bait this guy, the CEO of Delta, into blaming Donald Trump for the accident.
The Trump administration recently fired many employees of the FAA administration. Do those cuts worry you, and do you think that impacts the safety? I know you just said it's the safest way to travel, but after looking at all these mishaps, a lot of people are very nervous. Do these cuts affect you?
The cuts do not affect us, Gail. I've been in close communication with the Secretary of Transportation. I understand that the cuts at this time are something that are raising questions, but the reality is there's over 50,000 people that work at the FAA, and the cuts, I understand, were 300 people, and they were in non-critical safety functions. The Trump administration has committed to investing deeply in terms of improving the overall technologies that are used in the air traffic control systems and modernizing the skies. They've committed to hiring additional controllers and investigators and safety investigators. So, no, I'm not concerned with that at all.
And, you know, Nigel, what kills me is this is in the context of the Delta crash in Canada, right?
In Toronto,
In
yes.
Toronto. The FAA doesn't have any jurisdiction in Toronto.
That's interesting. It took off in Minnesota, I think. I think the flight took off.
Yeah, but
in
where
the
the accident
States.
occurred was a landing in Toronto, and there's a separate Canadian administrative agency called Transport Canada. They are the Canadian version of FAA. So FAA had nothing to do with the crash that happened in Toronto. That makes this baiting of the Delta president even more absurd.
Also, okay, let's pile on the absurdity for just a second, because Gayle King asked a question that she didn't already know the answer to. I thought that was the number one rule. You ask somebody like the Delta Airlines CEO, hey, yeah, you worried about Trump? Look at all the accidents that have been happened since it. The premise of the question is a bunch of BS. The number of accidents, the stats are out there. They have not risen any way, shape, or form since Trump's inauguration. Now, they're lower, as a matter of fact, over the past few years. The number of fatalities because of the midair collision outside Reagan International is up. But the premise of the question is, boy, all these accidents, Trump got inaugurated. Does this worry you? The entire premise of that question is flawed, if not based on a total lie. Exactly. Okay, my man Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show coming in to come off the rails next after the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
You should be done with it for a while. 20 degrees, sunny on the circle. All clear of the radar. Low temps down to the single digits tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 529. Every part of Indiana got some snow at some point from last night and into this morning.
We had some reports of snow amounts as high as 3.5 inches. Here at the airport, we had just under 2 inches with that event.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service says much of the snow is supposed to freeze because of how cold it is today. That's going to cause some slick travel conditions as well. The Trump administration is considering a plan to send some savings in federal spending back to taxpayers. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
So-called DOGE dividend checks sent to taxpayers could make up about 20% of what the Trump administration says will be saved from rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse in federal spending.
President Trump has made a historic commitment to the working class of this country to fight for major tax relief and major price relief.
Deputy White House Chief of Staff Stephen Miller says details of the dividend plan will be worked out by Congress as part of a major tax and spending bill being negotiated by Republicans. The president's chief economic advisor, Kevin Hassett, says potential dividend checks would not risk inflation. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The Senate is voting to confirm Kash Patel as the next director of the FBI. The vote was 51-49. Senators Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins were the only Republicans to vote against him. Democrats like California's Adam Schiff had said Patel won't put the public's best interest first. A proposal to have several counties in Illinois join Indiana is advanced to the Senate after passing the Indiana House Thursday. Here's John Herrick.
If it becomes law, it would create a commission to discuss the possibility of Indiana annexing counties from Illinois. However, the process of getting those counties into Indiana would require approval from both state legislatures and Congress. Indiana House Speaker Todd Houston says Indiana is one of the best states in America for low taxes and affordability. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
With traffic at 531, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, Hancock County, looking to westbound. 70 stopped after State Road 9 for about 2 miles. Working on the reason. We'll talk again here in a few minutes. Looking at eastbound 465 stop-and-go traffic on the northeast side from Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. Inbound 69 slows before 96th Street to 82nd. Boone County, northbound 65 slowing 86th Street up to the Dogleg, and then stop-and-go traffic to Whitestown Parkway. After that, you're gone. Inbound 65 stop-and-go MLK to Meridian Penn, delayed by 6 minutes. And on the south side, eastbound 465 slows from US 31 over to Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by B Window. This month at bwindow.com, receive $400 off per window and $250 per patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing. B Window. Proud to be employee owned. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Expect a dry, partly cloudy, and very cold Thursday night with lows falling down to the single digits. But we are in for a warmer into the work week with lots of sunshine and light winds. Highs will find their way into the low 30s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna from 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
And now, Hammer and Nigel go off the rails with Rob Kendall.
Noise pollution.
My name is Nigel. Guy Relford filling in for Jason Hammer. Also joining us live in studio, Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show, here to go off the rails. Rob, how are you?
Great, Nigel. Thanks as always to our segment sponsor, Garage Doors of Indianapolis.
You know what? I always love just kind of randomly tuning into the Kendall and Casey Show, just and hearing things out of context, not quite fully understanding what I'm listening to. And this morning it was you comparing our governor to the pirate in Captain Phillips. Now, when I first heard that, I was like, boy, I don't know if anybody wants to be compared to that guy. The guy that took over the Tom Hanks's cargo ship.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Hanks played Captain Phillips.
That's correct.
And then the pirate guy was the guy that said, "I'm the captain now."
That's right.
And you compared Braun to that guy.
That's right.
Governor Mike Braun. Now, if you wouldn't mind maybe just sharing some context
yes.
of that comment, because I started dying laughing, and even if it was a positive kind of context, I still could imagine Mike Braun hearing that and saying, "Yeah, could we have used a different comparison?" But go ahead, please.
So we were laughing because I had said the other day, if I were Braun, the number one arrow he has in his quiver on this property tax thing is that he can say, "I will call a special session and keep calling special sessions until these guys pass meaningful property tax reform." Because if there's one thing about these guys they hate to do, it's work. So the more you can keep making them work.
Just explain real quick, a special session does what?
It would require them to come back from all four corners of the state.
Yes.
And technically all you have to do in a special session is gavel yourself in and out.
Yeah.
But at least makes them show up to work after the regular session has expired. And it's just, I was just freewheeling that one day. And to Braun's credit, he must have heard that and said, "That's a heck of an idea." Because now everywhere he's going, he's like, "Not only will I consider vetoing this bill, I might also call a special session."
Okay, so he has come out. This is sort of his response.
Yeah, which good on him for doing that, saying that he would not only would he consider vetoing the bill if it's not satisfactory. He said he would veto the bill if it's not satisfactory, but also call this special session. And I said, one of the reasons...
So that's Braun getting out there and being like, "I'm the captain now."
Right, and one of the things that he's done really well is he has led on this property tax issue, which has emboldened our show. I mean, look, all of those senators, almost to a person, before they voted for the bill to get it out of the Senate because they just wanted it off their plate, admitted this is a flawed bill. Like, think about this. This is where we're at, Nigel. These guys create the flawed bill, and then they're like, "This bill sucks." Did you try to fix it? Nope. But I'm going to vote for it anyway just to move it forward. But we've got them to admit now they are rattled. This bill is a bad bill. They've admitted there are major problems with this bill. And my point was, our show has been emboldened because now we have a governor in there who's willing to lead on this, whereas before you had Holcomb who was giving cover to this bad governance by the General Assembly, the growth of government, the high taxes. And Braun now is saying, "I am the captain of this ship now. Yeah. You're not getting away with this anymore. If you do this, I'm going to call you out on it." And that's what we need from the chief executive of the state of Indiana.
You know, it sounds to me like if a legislator will come out and all but say, paraphrasing here, "This bill sucks." You know, that sounds to me like toxic rhetoric. that to me, you were being accused earlier today of toxic rhetoric on the Kendall and Casey show. Can you take me through that? What happened? I mean, and this wasn't just some, as I understand it, not just some random person on X.
Yeah. My favorite thing from local elected officials, and like I say, this guy been one, is they'll make some big pronunciation on social media, and they'll always kind of start it off with like, I've been sitting on the sidelines, or I've been holding my tongue, or I know many of you have been waiting to hear from, as though it's some sort of presidential proclamation about some large-scale national event, as though everybody in the state of Indiana has been like, man, I don't know what to think about this property tax reform. I need Adam Austin from the Carmel City Council to weigh in on this before I can have an opinion on the
someone
topic.
else from Carmel coming at the
so this guy, I guess he's the president of the Carmel City Council. He put this big, I mean, it was like a Dickens novel that this guy wrote about how, he's very concerned about the rhetoric about around property taxes, and how, look, Carmel can't make up their mind if the public safety is going to get cut or not, because he's talking about all the things that could happen to public safety, yet Sue Finkham then, after basically echoing him in her Senate bill testimony, came out and said no cuts to public safety. Then they just signed a collective bargaining agreement with the police and the fire for the next couple of years. But this guy, I guess, is back on the public safety. So think about this, Nigel. Not only could we lose the police, we could lose the fire, we could lose the teachers, we could lose the street lights, we could lose the snowplows, and this guy even included the libraries in there that could be. There may not be any local government if Braun gets his property tax reform.
Complete sheer anarchy is what it sounds to me like if SB 1 goes through.
And this was like I said, it was this big Dickens novel thing, and I responded to it. What exactly did I say? I said something to the effect of, and I don't want to misquote myself. I said something to the effect of, "This may be the most stupid post I've ever seen in the history of Facebook." And he
took all the time to write the Dickens novel, and you dwindled it down to, this is the stupidest thing I've ever read.
Here it is. I have it in front of me. This is quite possibly the most stupid post I've ever seen in the history of Facebook. And his response was, "There's the toxic rhetoric I was talking about." Like, okay, think about this. You've got, in the case of, let's use Carmel here, you have Scott Baldwin, who's this senator from Hamilton County, who runs a multi-billion-dollar company by their website's own admission that makes a huge portion of their money off local government construction projects, which are paid for with property taxes. He doesn't disclose this in the hearing. He's on the tax committee, doesn't disclose this in the hearing, and then votes to screw millions of taxpayers in favor of people like the city of Carmel. That's fine with Adam Austin. He actually praises Baldwin in this post. That's fine. But the radio guy, who can't make anybody do anything, the radio guy is the toxic rhetoric.
You know, I think we can extrapolate what we're seeing here locally with cities having to come to the realization we're going to have to cut some stuff if we're going to cut these property taxes. Are you buying Doge? The success that the Department of Government Efficiency is having, that Donald Trump is having with his Elon Musk, and is there a local version of this that we can try to do?
Well, you could.
And why haven't the Republicans done it?
Well, because they don't. The Republicans are big government, right? We've had this conversation. So let's nationally. Yes, Doge has found they claim $55 billion. Now, I would like to see a definitive list with the provable cuts and everything. Until then, I'm not throwing a victory parade for anybody. Yeah. But let's just say they have found that. The new reconciliation budget that's being thrown out there still adds $4.5 trillion to the nation's debt. So Elon Musk can find whatever he wants. The actual Republican Party continues to add massive amounts of spending and out-of-control government to the nation's debt, which would add $4.5 trillion. People have been saying for the past 2 weeks, "Oh, Indiana Doge, Rob, you should run this." That is not going to happen for a couple of reasons. One, I'm like the cousin Eddie or Uncle Fester as it relates to the Braun administration. They're like, "Yeah, that guy's kind of helpful on property taxes, but we're not bringing him into our orbit, right? Like, we'll use him for this and keep him at arm's distance." Yeah. The other problem is, if I were to do an Indiana Doge, our current proposed budget is $46.5 billion, roughly. That's a staggering amount of money for a state of 7 million people. It's gross. But my thing would be, I guarantee you I could find 10%, so $4.6 billion in waste. But I would only do it if all the money was going to be returned to the people. I would not do this if it could be reallocated or respent.
Well, isn't that what Donald Trump was talking about? Well, we're going to give 20% back to the people and then repay 20%.
Where's the other 60% going? That's
right.
only 40%.
I heard you guys talking about that today. Real quick, there's about 60 seconds left, and then I want to take a break. But the partisan school board bill.
Yeah, that's great.
Talk about that. Having people running for school board put an R and a D next to their name. Where are we with that?
All we're doing is making this like every single other election in the state. There's nothing special going on here. Of course, the Democrats don't want it because in places like Carmel and Brownsburg, where these super liberal people who get elected, they will basically have no shot if they got to put a letter behind their name. It has cleared the Senate. There was a bill in the House. The Senate bill is actually better than the House because it has a primary process with it. It is my understanding now that the House, the author of the House bill, has taken down his bill. He's going to take up the Senate bill.
Okay.
And barring something incredibly unforeseen, we will fix a lot of these problems in public education, these suburban school districts going forward by having people run school board elections like every other election in the state.
Can you stick around for one more break?
Absolutely.
We'll be right back with Rob Kendall. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Garage Floor Coatings. If your garage floor looks bad with stains, cracks, and pits, it makes your entire garage look bad. And a bad epoxy job or chipping paint makes your garage or basement look worse. With one quick call to 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, I can save you $1,000 on a new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor during our winter sale. A Comer & Cross concrete floor coating is the gold standard. Guaranteed. A Comer & Cross garage floor won't chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. What's the Comer & Cross difference? We make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We fix the cracks and pits perfectly. In one day, you will love your gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor just in time for spring. Call us right now for $1,000 in savings during our winter sale. Operators are standing by now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to COMERcross.com.
It's tax time, and tax time is your time to buy a new Nissan and get double your tax refund or down payment only at Andy Moore Nissan of Indianapolis. For a limited time, when you buy any new Nissan, Andy Moore Nissan will double your tax refund or down payment up to $5,000. That means your $1,000 becomes $2,000. Your $2,000 becomes $4,000. Your $4,000 becomes $8,000. This month only, Andy Moore Nissan will double your down payment up to $10,000. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Good credit, bad credit, even no credit. Our credit experts will get you approved with the best terms with as little as $0 down on any new Nissan in stock. Andy Moore Nissan is making deals other dealers won't and approving deals other dealers can't. Andy Moore Nissan, 4302 Lafayette Road, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep Central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
True Green. Get a golf course quality lawn for less than you think. Sign up at TrueGreen.com. That's TrueGreen.com. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
Kendall and Casey.
I'm a young, up-and-coming professional. We are people who want to work. We want to engage. We don't want to be freeloaders. And yet, it makes it very hard for young people to actually do that.
Kendall and Casey, 9 till noon on 93 WIBC.
Looking at inbound 69, stop-and-go traffic, 96th Street to 82nd. Southbound 65 slows from 29th Street to Meridian Penn. And then looking at northbound 65 going up to the Boone, we are slow, 79th Street past the Dog Leg. And crash. This is near Geist, Oak Landon Road north of Fox Road. Crash Noblesville, State Road 37 at Pleasant Street. Traffic sponsored by B Window. This month at bwindow.com, receive $400 off per window and $250 per patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing. B Window, proud to be employee owned. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
22 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center, 93 WIBC. Back with Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show. Let's do a hard pivot away from property taxes. This country's facing, I don't know if you heard about this. It's one of the worst flu seasons in the past decade. Tens of thousands of people being admitted to hospitals all over the country, and it's weird. We're not shutting the country down for any of this. For the first time since COVID, more people are dying from the flu than of COVID. Why aren't we shutting the country down?
Well, we played that out, right? I mean, that is first of all, you have Trump in the White House now, so they can't do that. We're not in an election season. Look, COVID was real. There were certainly people who were at an expanded risk of COVID, but 90% of the country, and this was my...
But hospitals are filling up, is what I'm told. Hospitals are filling up, and
don't
more
they
people
normally
are dying.
this time of year? Don't they? Doesn't this happen every year?
And people are dying.
And that's horrible, but the reality is, it's the same thing we said during COVID. 90% of the country could have gone to work every day and been just fine. Everybody was going to get it anyway. Everybody got COVID that was going to get it, and there was no need to shut down society. You could have, covered grandma and grandpa, the people with comorbidities.
Yes.
Same thing now. My kid is in daycare. I have been sick more in the past 6 months than I have in the previous 20 years. And I've had this rotavirus or whatever this thing is called. And it was nasty. Norovirus.
Oh, boy, that's bad.
Oh, it's bad. And it was bad for a day. And you know what? I got up and went to work the next day, right? And I stayed away from everybody. And like, people, we have to have some common sense, which is you cannot shut down society without having immense long-term ramifications. But you got to just work through it.
It's just strange now that the people that were in charge of policy back then under Donald Trump and Mike Pence, Dr. Deborah Birx.
No. I was thinking
Dr.
Dr.
Birx.
Box.
You're thinking that locally here,
Yes,
the health
Dr. Box,
commissioner, but Dr. Birx, who was actually the head of the coronavirus task force, she was more powerful than Fauci. Fauci was the face.
Yeah.
Birx coming out again and saying that the COVID shots, the jabs that were forced upon us, most of us, you didn't take it.
No. Pure blood right here.
We're pushed on the wrong people. They could have been rolled out to the people that were at risk for severe disease, because that's what the vaccine was developed for, is what Dr. Birx is saying. She confesses the COVID shots was never designed to prevent infection. Two different things.
Wait.
Yeah, she said. I mean, she said this in her book already. This is said we were lied to, and these same people that were making money and making fortunes off telling people to get the shot, or you're going to die, or you're going to infect somebody else, are now making fortunes off telling people that they were lying. For God's sake.
Where's Jerome Adams? Has anybody seen failed former Surgeon General Jerome Adams? He's been real quiet lately. Have you noticed that?
I just think, and you have been right the whole time. You stuck to your guns. I was recommended by my general practitioner back in the day.
Fine.
That I
You
got,
made a choice with your doctor. There's nothing wrong with it. That's fine. If anybody got the shot because their doctor told them to do it and they decided that's for them, great. My thing was
people lost their jobs under those two lies that I just mentioned that Dr. Birx is now saying.
I had to go through hell to not get that vaccine and keep my job. Do you know how embarrassing that is to have to go up to the 7th floor and explain, explain yourself?
Did you have to take the test in front of somebody? Like, did you have to stick the thing up your nose right in front of
My favorite part about taking the test, I felt so bad for the people who were administering the test because they didn't want any part of this, and they were so nice. But my favorite part was, like, you'd take the test, you'd sit there and watch it, you'd go, says it's negative, and they'd be in the room going, okay, thanks. You don't want to see it? No, you're good.
I believe you. Coming up tomorrow, you have a very special guest. Back to the property tax angle
Yes,
who
Mike
is it?
Gaskell, Senator Mike Gaskell. He was on the tax committee. He called me this morning. He was very nice. He said, look, I'm a big fan of your show. I have constituents all the time who are tell me they're fans of your show. I think you're right on a lot of this property tax stuff. I'd like to come on and talk about it. And we said, now, finally, someone wants to behave like an adult and be accountable and come on and answer some questions.
Thank you, too.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis, you guys are the best.
Rob Kendall and Casey Show, 9 to noon, Monday through Friday. We'll see you tomorrow. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. Okay, this is pretty cool. Thompson Furniture Mattress in Columbus still have the big President's Day sale going on. Indiana-made Smith Brothers of Bern factory authorized sale. 50% off the best quality sofa sectionals and recliners made in Bern, Indiana. Lifetime warranty. And they guarantee the best price compared to any other indie store. Did I mention free delivery? Yeah, the best service and interest-free financing only with Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
When everybody else is raising the prices and trying to nickel and dime you with secret charges, Thompson Furniture and Mattress still have free delivery and setup if you live within 75 miles of their store in Columbus. It's been owned and operated by the same awesome family since 1927. It's where I got my awesome Tempur-Pedic mattress, our couch, the love seat. These guys support what we do here at Hammer and Nigel Show, so take care of these guys. Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Discover cancer care that empowers you at Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer